rings and anniversary gifts and birthday gifts now for their children and grandkids. So it's pretty cool to see that family tree grow.
We're blessed with the relationships we've built over the years. Our non-commissioned sales associates are experts. They have only one goal: your complete satisfaction.
We have a 6,000 square foot showroom with anything and everything that you can want. Beards Diamonds has been family owned and locally operated since 1981.
40 years later, it's still our goal to offer the largest selection of quality diamond jewelry at the best prices in Jacksonville, guaranteed. The reason we can make that promise? As Beards owners, we are on the floor helping you with your purchase. We have no corporate bosses setting the price. The chain stores can't touch our prices. They just can't.
Check out our full inventory at beardsdiamonds.com. Come in and see us. We'd love to help you. Anybody that steps foot in our stores is automatically a part of the Beards family.
Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. We'll have 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000. All you have to do is enter the correct keyword at ESPN690.com to be eligible to win. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply. ESPN 690 pays your bills. Sponsored by the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Weekdays at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 2, and 5 p.m. Tune in to win from ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Every weeknight at 6 p.m., it's Overtime with Kuhrts in Middleton. And check us out right here on ESPN 690.
This is SportsCenter.
It's finals tonight in Boston. The Celtics won Game 4 to extend the series, but they lost the first 2 games at home. And ESPN's Vince Carter says Boston still needs work.
They're going to have to find a way. And first and foremost, they're going to have to defend and take care of the basketball. Jason Tatum played great, but 5 turnovers. He had half of their turnovers. And you can't have that, particularly if you don't play well at home.
Vince Carter on Get Up. Heat guard Gabe Vincent is out for tonight's game with a left ankle sprain. Our coverage of Game 5 starts at 8 Eastern here on ESPN Radio. Over on ESPN TV at 8 Eastern tonight, it's Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Playoff West Final in Dallas. The Golden Knights leading the Stars 3-0. The Jaguars signed kicker Brandon McManus, who was cut by the Broncos 2 days ago after 9 seasons in Denver. McManus had been the last remaining player on the Broncos roster from the Super Bowl 50 championship team.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year 2 pom-pom people.
Kasey Kuhrts.
Yo! What are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship. Get him! Get him! Hit him! Hit him! Hit him! Yeah! Boom! Jack! Boom! Yeah! Boom! Jack! Boom!
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Kasey Kuhrts, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio, ESPN 690.
I mean, what the hell? He kicked the game winner, 36-yarder. One of the most epic games in postseason history. Most epic games in Jacksonville Jaguars history. I saw him yesterday. Was talking to him. How's the offseason? Ready to go.
That was the kiss of death. Don't talk to these guys, Brent. It's on you, my guy.
Riley Patterson did everything you asked of him. And it wasn't good enough? Man, this is a hard business.
Thank you for your time. But get out.
And shut up, Pro Football Talk, by the way.
Good. Okay. Didn't know if we were going to acknowledge that happened.
Shut up,
cool.
Florio.
With that.
Or whoever's tweeting for you. Did you see their tweet?
Oh, of course. I didn't know if we were going to see. Sometimes when there's just a lot of ignorance going on with people like that, we just ignore it. Like there's one person we can't even mention on the show. We just ignore his stupidness.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we were there with this. So I was like, I'm not going to bring it up. But if we bring it up, I will definitely hammer and pile on. Because, what a joke.
I mean,
like let's have basic respect for human beings. And Mike Florio's like, nope, can't respect humans. Like, what are we doing, bro? Come on now.
You know what's funny about the Florio thing? Like, we put everything we associate with Florio. There's no way he tweets and writes and does everything there.
Yeah, but it's better to believe that he does. It's more fun that way.
Like, I saw that. I'm like, really? That's what we're mad about? Saying goodbye and thank you to players? Which, first of all, is, whatever. But with this type of athlete today, whatever that means, the branding, the sensitivities of I delete all my social media if I don't have a contract. Like, This is part of it now. Like, we say goodbye and thank you. And is that really that big a deal to say goodbye and thank you? Like, if your workplace kicked your butt out the door today, would it be nice if they said, we appreciate all the work that Kasey Kuhrts has done?
That's the thing. Like, at least in this company, there's 2 different emails you could get. But you're at least getting acknowledged. The one's like, hey, if you see this person, please call this number.
Be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout. Or it's like, hey, this person did a great job. They're moving on, whatever. So, you at least get acknowledged. But, like, also, you're coming off the regime where the coach, I know, didn't know all their names. Right?
Yeah,
Urban
true.
did not know everybody. Now, Riley wasn't here. Okay, sure. But, again, it's another thing for, like, I don't know if this matters to players, but, hey, they actually cared. They cut me, sure, but they acknowledged that I made maybe the biggest kick in franchise history, and I can at least get a tweet out of it.
I wonder, I have to check with some of the folks I know down there. What if there's an internal email that goes out like it does at our place? And it says, we appreciate everything Riley Patterson's done. He kicked one of the biggest kicks in franchise history. We wish him the best of luck, and thanks, Riley, and good luck to you and your family. Like, does the ticket guy down at the Jags get that?
That's a good question.
Or because the press release goes out and a thank you tweet, that's good enough?
Or did it not go well? And they're like, if you see Riley Patterson within 18 feet of this building,
that's right.
You call everybody.
The SWAT team is around.
You hit the panic button
right.
immediately.
It is funny. I feel like we have said goodbye to so many people, especially on the TV side, like over the last year, just people moving on for different reasons.
I do, yeah.
So I didn't know at some point, like usually you get the nice 3-paragraph email, like they grew into this and they've done a great job. We appreciate all their efforts and we hope they do well in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Well, it started to like get shorter and shorter. Mm-hmm. And then you always have the one, so-and-so doesn't work here anymore.
Period.
Like, that's it.
No thanks.
Like, that ended bad.
That's it.
Like, that ended bad.
Like, when I first got to TV, the first email, you remember Blake?
Yeah.
Big, long, 6-paragraph email about how much they appreciate. I'm like, hey, he's good at his job.
Yeah, Blake was good.
And then now, the email, to your point, like, they don't work here. Please alert security if you see this person.
But then there's this middle ground that I think we were sending so many emails that I think they just got tired of it.
And people kept quitting.
So it's in between. It was just like, all right, we're not saying great job. I mean, shoot, you've only been here 3 months and you're already out the door going into a different business.
It's an Urban Meyer situation. We barely know who you are. You produced a couple of shows. Well done.
All right, so hey, screw you, Pro Football Talk.
Yep.
I mean, who cares? Really, like that's what you're mad about on a Thursday in late May? Go enjoy the summer. Get a beer. Stop tweeting.
You have to really search to find this. You know what I mean? Like, I understand you're in the football business. Like, to talk about news is like a thing. The Jaguars cutting a kicker, like, you're trying to make this. If this was the Bills or insert other team here, no, like, it's
and
not.
Everybody does it.
It's not a quote tweet from Florio. Like, it's just not if it's any other team.
Like, the thing about Florio and Pro Football Talk or whoever's tweeting, what they should have done is what the hell are they doing? Why are they doing this? Like, that's a fair take.
Now, that is, yeah.
And before I get to that, one other thing about the tweets, I really think this changed over the stretch of when things fell apart here with Jalen Ramsey. Now, I'm not saying he was the guy. I'm just saying this is the timetable. Jalen Ramsey, out the door, blah, blah, blah. As soon as he gets to L.A., over the few years he was in L.A., however long he ended up being there, man, they would make sure they pushed him out on social media. Oh, we love you, Jalen. We love you, Jalen. Like,
yep.
I think that was part of it. It was like, yeah, you got to kind of massage the ego of these guys. And I've heard stories, by the way, that will be like, really? Like they cared about that? Yup, they do. They do. Oddly enough, they do. You know, give me $2.5 million in checks a year, and I don't care what you say, don't say, whatever.
800,000, whatever it takes.
but they do. Okay, so back to the Riley. Like, why? Why Riley Patterson? Why did this happen today? And I've got to be honest with you, when I first saw it, because it was so far out of my mind that this could happen. I knew they had James McCourt. When they added McManus, I'm like, all right. They added McManus. They got a great kicking room for the next few months.
They're going to make him earn it, yeah.
And then it was like moments later I realized, oh, wait, they actually cut Riley Patterson to make this move? Make it make sense, Kasey Kuhrts.
It's like, here's the thing. It makes some sense, right? Veteran, big leg, 20% more touchbacks. Now, I don't know how much that matters to you anymore with the new rules on touchbacks.
Yeah.
But this guy was, touchbacking with the best of them. Not a career year last year for Brandon McManus. Just a guy, if you will. The number was 77% of his field goals. The 4 years previous, over 80%, and up to as high as 85% in his field goals. He's established. He's a veteran. He's done it. He did get cut, though. Like, he was on a team, and they said, please stop coming to work. So, I mean, that part of it is curious. I don't know, Brent. In a weird way, I do think they got better.
Yeah, I actually said in the tweet, it's like, I don't hate it. Like, I think when McManus got cut, I was like, I wonder if the Jags will take a look. It crossed my mind. Like, the Jags are in a position now where they can strengthen and fortify the freaking kicker position.
That's weird. Yeah.
That is bizarre in itself. All right, let's start there. But I did think, guy's got a bigger leg. He's got more experience. And as clutch as the 36-yard kick was, I mean, let's be honest. Like, if you're a kicker in the NFL, like, it's 36 yards and you should make it. And it was kind of close.
It was, like, as close as you can get.
So we really don't know how clutch he is, I don't think. Like, do you have a good feel like Riley Patterson clutch kicker or not? I mean, Josh Lambo went 2 years without missing a freaking kick. Like, I seriously think he missed one kick.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. The kick that he made was, again, you should make it if you're an NFL kicker. But with all the pressure on, he did make it. He should get credit for that. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's the clutchest kicker they could have. I don't believe that, no.
Now, he had a better statistical year than McManus.
He did. But
any concern that McManus is kicking, like, mile high where the ball travels farther?
I actually think in this scenario that hurts him, because if you look at his kicks in the distances 10 from 10, 40 to 49, he missed one short one, and then 30 to 39. But 50 plus, he's 8 for 13. So I actually think the thin air hurts him there because they're running him out there from like 60.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And if you think all the way back to week 1, remember they ran him out there in Seattle for like 70? Remember that play?
Yeah.
And he barely missed. So
which was goofy, but yes.
Stupid. But if he doesn't if he doesn't miss that kick, we're talking, and I can't do math like that. It's 77.8, but if you take one miss away, you're closer to 80. I know that much for sure. So, yeah, the statistics aren't the same, but I think if you aren't running him out there from 55, 58, and trying it because you're in Denver, his stats look better even.
You know, again, I don't have a major problem with this. 32-year-old guy, maybe you did get a little better, bigger leg.
I think they did.
Experience. Like, I think you can argue that. I really do. That's a weird thing. So I got a couple. The Jags had a kicker problem for, like, after Lambeau. Take the Urban Lambeau stuff out of it. But after Lambeau.
That was a kicking problem as well.
That was a wild problem. And they couldn't find a kicker for 2 years.
You guys had a whole BAM wall.
We did have a whole wall that says it all down there on TV, and it was like you just kept adding to it, and they couldn't find one, or they got hurt, or whatever. Like, they were picking up a new kicker, and actually, to the Jags' credit, like, half the kickers that they picked up are now kicking somewhere. Like, if they had stuck with them or didn't get hurt or whatever it might have been, like, they might have been okay.
Didn't they have other teams? What was the guy's name?
Hauschka. They had a kid that came from, like, Minnesota and then down here, and now he's with somebody. I can't even remember all the names. Like they were here for like a week.
John Brown, something like that.
They had him for a minute. But that wasn't the guy I was thinking of. So, but the interesting thing about Patterson, I want to take you back to last year's camp. Jags are still trying to figure out kicker.
Yeah.
So they get James McCourt. And he goes to the last preseason game. We're in Atlanta? Yeah, we're in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And so he kicks I think 3 field goals in Atlanta. He joined the team 2 days before. I think he missed one of the practices up there.
Yeah, yes. All this is correct.
And so it's McCourt and maybe nobody else or somebody else on the roster.
I think they already got rid of Santoso.
Had they done that?
Because he missed whoever the second preseason game was at home, if you remember. It was a long kick, but he missed a win.
And then they cut him that week. You're right. Yeah, they gave him a chance to do that. So, all right. So Patterson, go to McCourt. I remember interviewing McCourt after the game, and I'm like, hey, man, congrats. Must feel good.
You did it.
You did your job.
Welcome
you won
to the
job.
team.
I basically welcome to the team.
Oh, boy. Again,
I wasn't the only one.
You're the kiss of death here with the kickers, it sounds like.
But, that's what I was thinking. I mean, the guy goes 3 for 3. They got nobody else on the roster. It's yes, kicker problem solved. I love James McCourt. 2 days later, they signed Riley Patterson sight unseen after he gets cut from Detroit.
Yes.
And they're putting James McCourt on the practice squad. I'm like, what just happened here? Who's this guy? Who's Riley Patterson?
You're actually kind of mad.
You look like you have, for the first time in 3 years, you look like you had solved the kicker problem, and now you just created another problem, potentially. If you go back to last August, that's what it was. That was 9 months ago.
We had the head mitt.
We had the head mitt out. We're going to pull that back out.
We will. We'll do that today.
And so that is a wild situation if you think, okay, now you give credit to Heath Farwell and the Jags because they knew Patterson was a guy that they had coveted, and they knew what he could do. And so Patterson comes on board and obviously does very well. He's 30 for 35. And there's nothing to complain about other than a couple of kicks. Really the Kansas City game. He missed a couple of kicks.
The regular season
when he had a chance to, the Jags had a chance to get momentum. Remember, they recovered the kick before the half, and he missed the kick. Then the other one that I remember that wasn't great was the Raiders game, and Doug gave him 2 chances, and he hit the second one, so it worked out.
Yes.
Outside of that, the young man was really good.
He was.
And now he's gone.
Gone. Just gone with the wind.
It's really kind of wild to see why the Jags made this move. And I don't know. He missed 1 extra point, by the way, last season, too. He was 30 for 35 on field goals. He was 2 for 3 from long range, 10 of 13 from 40 to 49, 10 of 11 from 30 to 39, and didn't miss inside 30, thankfully. But he really had a good year. And see you later. So there's one other element of this that I said to you as you were coming in the building today. And I think this part's interesting. So the Jags bring back basically the whole squad from last year. Which, again, has its critics. I mean, you've said, are you getting better if you're bringing back the whole squad?
Mm-hmm.
And now it seems like everybody's mad that they're letting one go. It's like you're supposed to bring back the whole squad.
That's what Riley said. He's like, what do you mean? Everybody else got to stay.
Isn't that we have now, because of that team, because of what they did, the end of the year, and now Riley Patterson's a part of that forever in Jags history. That's a big kick, man. Big kick.
All-timer.
I don't care if it just went in, whatever. It put the exclamation point on one of the biggest comebacks in playoff history. It helped set the table for this year. It was Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence, their big moment, this team's big moment, the stadium's big moment, the franchise and fan base. It was a moment. And he was a big part of it among the other things that he had done all season long. And you're like, wait, don't take that guy away from us. He's part of it. He helped turn it around. He helped where we're going. And I think from a fan perspective, my guess today is you're like, I don't really want him to go. Maybe this guy's better, but I really don't want him to go. And now as a fan perspective, you're probably like, that son of gun Brandon McManus better not miss any kicks in the first month of the year.
That's the thing, right? He better be good. I think, again, I do think that they're better from that. I think McManus is a better kicker, right? And I guess the way I come from that is he's backed it up. The stats are what they are from last year. But when they ran Riley Patterson out there during the season at any point, and I don't know how you're going to answer this, but please answer it honestly, were you like, they're definitely making this kick? Did you get to that point with him? I did not.
I'm going to try to be as truthful as possible here in that spot. Like, I would say this, and I know where you're going with it, but I'm just going to be as honest as I can. First of all, I knew it was only 36 yards. And secondly, I felt like I knew he was going to make the kick because of everything that had transpired, more than because it was him kicking the kick. You know what I mean? Like, I felt really good about making the kick because they had just done whatever they wanted to.
Yeah.
To get to
so
that
in
point,
the last
like,
one.
I didn't think it was just going to go like all of a sudden, oh my gosh, he's going to. They had so much momentum. Like, I remember leaving that game and it was like, they could play another 3 quarters and the Chargers are not going to stop them.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? So was that kind of feeling more so to your point, what you're trying to get at, like, I know he's making this kick. To that, if it was 47 yards, I would have probably.
Well, I'm just saying, like, even
that.
during the regular season. Like,
yeah, I agree with you.
At times, like, I don't think, and if you were, then shout out to you. I get Brian Middleton called him the most consistent kicker in Jags history a bunch of times on the radio. I was like, bro, you're out of your mind. And we're going to have that conversation later today.
That overtime show, by the way, really falls in love with kickers.
But I tell you what, it's a main topic all the time. But I don't know if you ever felt like, hey, if he misses, I'm going to be surprised.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't think that was ever it.
Lambeau got to that point,
Lambeau
right?
did get to that
was
point.
like that.
Yes.
Hollis, guys like that were like that. Here's why. But this goes back to what we said maybe a few minutes ago. We really don't know how clutch of a kicker he is. He wasn't put in the situation a lot. But I said something to you, and I got to go find it. In the playoff game against Kansas City. Yeah, see, it was that one. I always think the game against Kansas City was 27-17 in my mind, but it was 27-20. And, you know, when the Jags almost came back in that game, was that the one?
I have it up. So he made 2 kicks in the playoff game. The first one was at the end of the half to make it 17-10. And then after Kansas City scored, they got down 6 plays. He kicked a 48-yarder. There was only 25 seconds left. They still had to recover the onside.
Okay. That was after the Agnew fumble and the stop.
Yes.
Okay. In my mind, I was like, he made a kick in Kansas City to at least give the Jags a chance to go get the ball back. And if he misses that kick, which, by the way, that was 48-yarder. So in that moment, like the last breath of life for the Jags in that game to get the onside kick, like he did hit that kick to set it up.
But
like, which I sometimes think those are hard. Like you can't. Sure. That's not a gimme to go kick that. So that actually, in my mind though, it had come before the Agnew fumble, which is not true. That's why I always have 27-17 in my mind too.
But I mean, even if we're going to play this part of the game, I mean, if he doesn't make the kick before the half, like he missed in the regular season, you go into the half down 17-7. And then Kansas City kicks a field goal on that first drive. So you're down 20-7 in the fourth quarter, and you have no life at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. If you go back to a couple of games, the Jets game, he kicked 4 or 5. That was in some bad weather.
Yep.
Missed a 40-something yarder. I don't know exactly.
It didn't matter.
And Tennessee game, he was 3 for 3. That was one of his best games. You go all the way back to the Chargers game, he was 3 for 3 as well, but those were chip shots. How about the long in the 3 for 3 game was 23 yards?
They're dominating.
Wow, did they dominate that game or what?
That was a pretty game.
I mean, they won 38-10.
They might have.
And he kicked 3 field goals, and none were longer than 23.
Now, it probably wasn't the best game in franchise history, but they might have played their best game and their worst game in that stadium a year apart.
Yeah,
remember the Rams game?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That was not football, what we were watching that day.
So, anyway, there's a lot here, right? I mean, this is like an attachment with this football team. Listen, when Arden Key left, you felt a little something. But the difference here is Arden Key was a free agent. There was always the chance he was leaving. Jawan Taylor, always the chance he was leaving. What's interesting about this move, in my opinion, is the Jags are basically saying, we don't need you anymore. We can do better. Yeah. Have they done that with any other position yet?
No. And that to me is the criticism. If I'm pro Riley Patterson, I'm like, so what about all these other spots that you could upgrade? You're going to just choose this one? I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I think you could easily make that argument. He's younger. I mean, he had that emotional moment with them. He's part of this team, this memorable team that we want to run back. Obviously, you guys want to run it back, being Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke. So to just cast him off to the side for a guy that might have played his best football, his best kicking may be far behind him, it's a fair argument. I don't know if it's right.
Yeah, and listen, Keaton says, is it? They had a chance to upgrade talent at a position, and they did it. Not much more to it. Meaning the story of that and letting it go is wild, I had said. And
I do fall in that camp.
Keaton might be right, but I don't know if this is unequivocal that it's not like you're signing Adam Vinatieri in his prime.
Agreed.
You know? I mean, let's not go nuts on Brandon McManus. It jumped out to me when he was available, and it crossed my mind. But here's the part I still don't get, and I understand why people do this. The Jag tried to do good business. Hey, let you go find a home. They didn't have to cut him. Like, if they really liked McManus and they know they have somebody, like, to be honest with you, at this time, you can, like, your roster can be big.
You can have 8 kickers. Rams are trying to just find humans.
So, even that's an interesting part, Kasey. Like, why not maybe set up for a trade down the road?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of there is, I mean, they did right by him to go try to find a job and find a place to compete.
And that's a part of this business, GMs and the way you operate, and Doug Peterson as a former player. I can see that.
And I listen, I
out of respect to him, yeah.
I think Riley should appreciate that. But also, if you're Doug Peterson, if this guy's not good, if McManus is bad in camp and in the preseason, you made a major mistake because you could have sat on Riley Patterson up until the cut-down day.
Well, here's the deal, man. Like, here's the other part of this. Maybe they think James McCourt's better than Riley Patterson.
You just going back to James McCourt, huh?
Well, why didn't they?
I get it.
Why didn't they move him?
The safety blanket, yeah.
So
I think it's just to be fair to Riley.
Yeah, but you just brought up a great point. If they go out to minicamp here in middle of June, and this dude at 32 years old, McManus, pulls a hammy,
be bad.
Why would you risk? Like, why would you? Now you go find other kickers, I guess. But here we go again.
Right.
By the way, kickers can pull hammies and groins and all this other stuff. Like, it happens.
And then they may never come back, Josh Lambo. Let me read you some of these.
I guess maybe you can always have Josh Lambo. Hey, don't hold on to those. Let's get them on the other side. Let's take a break. When we come back, I did ask this and jump in, 904-362-9901. How big was Riley Patterson's kick in your opinion? I know it's recency bias. It's right there. It's 36 yards away. But it's an epic part of the story, which was an epic story for the Jags. So where does it live in your psyche? The biggest kick of all time is Morten Anderson missing. Like, I understand that. But that's not a Jags kicker. There are other ones from Hollis to Scobie to Lambo, too, who was very good for 2 years before all the drama. And then Riley Patterson is, like, in that conversation. How big is it? What are some of the big kicks in Jacksonville Jaguars history? Brent Friends on ESPN 690 here on a Thursday. And don't forget, the kicker love extends to overtime with Kuhrts and Middleton later tonight at 6 o'clock.
It's going to be hot.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy and breezy today. A few brief showers, highs near 80 degrees. The rain increases later tonight and will continue into tomorrow morning. And then we'll get in some afternoon sun, and it'll be windy for you Friday. Highs only in the mid-70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, proud to offer a huge selection of both lab-grown and natural diamonds at the lowest prices guaranteed.
True House, a leader in the structural building component industry for over 35 years, is hiring full-time truss builders in Jacksonville and Crescent City. Benefits include 401k plan, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, and professional growth. No previous experience required. True House offers production incentives, allowing you to earn up to $2 more per hour in your weekly paycheck. Most employees work Monday through Thursday, giving you more time with your family on the weekends. Apply for the full-time truss builder position at truehouse.com/careers.
If you're the victim of a car crash, never rush to settle with the insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville.
This is a busy time of year for families, especially if you have teenagers, kids getting their license, kids going off to college, and someone probably needs a new car, and that's why you go to Nimnick Buick GMC, #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Looking for the perfect truck or SUV? Nimnick Buick GMC has more models on the ground than they've had in over 2 years. Looking for a used car under $18,000? Nimnick has a great selection of over 300 used cars, trucks, and SUVs to choose from. Visit the showroom off Phillips Highway or shop NimnickBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
Why can't I just speak to an actual human being? I need a new bank.
Well, actually, at One-to-One Financial, communication is not only number one, it's one-to-one. When you call, you get to talk to a real live Jacksonville human, fast, and with someone who's truly concerned about your needs, your security, and finding solutions as a team.
Thank you. Ready to break up with your bank? Find a real long-term banking relationship at One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit one-to-onefcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA.
It's fishing time, old school style. The Dailies Old School Kingfish Shootout, presented by Yellowfin, is June 10th in St. Augustine. Fishing fun for everyone. Big boats, small boats, and just a $250 entry fee if you register early by May 31st. The catch for the Old School Kingfish Shootout, limited boundaries. Fernandina Beach to Daytona Beach, but only 3 miles offshore. OldSchoolKingfish.com to register and do it early by May 31st. Get your chance to win over $200,000 in prizes. Fishing fun for everyone, June 10th in St. Augustine. OldSchoolKingfish.com.
He's a former coach with 2 sons who played professional basketball. Satch Sullinger's a competitive individual, but his golf game was suffering because of painful joints.
Right, that's real important, the golf game. Right, as we get older, we create these bad habits because we're relegated to hit a certain way.
QC Kinetics used regenerative treatments, all natural healing properties from Satch's own body, to restore those damaged joints and get his golf game back on track.
QC Kinetics Regenerative Medicine is regenerating me. All natural. And that's what I'm about. I'm going to tell everybody why I'm better.
Oh, and by the way, looks like the competitive Satch is back.
We're all in the same boat, and I'm getting better, and I'm watching them stay old.
Go to QCkinetics.com. Get relief and your game back. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
This time of year brings constant rain and those pesky storm-chasing roofers knocking on your door with scripted sales pitches. Jaxie Wilson Roofing Company didn't become the first name in Jacksonville roofing with invasive sales tactics. Instead, they offer a low-pressure approach, free and transparent estimates, exceptional craftsmanship, and they get every job right the first time. That's why Jaxie Wilson Roofing Company is the first name in Jacksonville roofing. Request a free estimate at JaxieWilsonRoofing.com. That's JaxieWilsonRoofing.com.
Jump in the iCryo chat chamber on Brent Friends Daily on ESPN 690. Agree with Kasey. Disagree with me. Give Aaron a hard time about the Jets. Be a part of the iCryo chat chamber and check out iCryo in St. Johns County and at iCryo.com.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go. Almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fan favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff.
like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the
right seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Action Sports Jax. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jax. Watch, listen, subscribe. Hey, that's that boy. Don't be so logical. I just said, don't be logical. This is radio and social media. I said, Jags must really think McManus is an upgrade, like a big upgrade, which is like, it's got to be a pretty sizable one to make this move. And Dan said they've seen Riley every day in practice for a year now. It's not like this is some rash decision, which I understand.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, does somebody have, like, I wonder how, this is how it should work, but I'm sure we'll see if it does work, or maybe we'll never see if it does work like this. You basically take a look at the kickers around the league, right? Mm-hmm. You're like, hey, McManus in Denver, X guy in Indy, or this guy in Baltimore. If any of the, well, this guy in Baltimore, we know if that guy was available. But if any of these guys get cut or are available, it's worth making a move.
He was on that list.
And he was on the list. Like, that's the way I think it's going to work. I also do wonder what this does say about James McCourt in that sense. I mean, have we ever started a show with 35 minutes of kicker talk?
Probably Matthew Wright Day.
Matthew Wright. We get attached to kickers around here.
It's
like
the
not
position.
just here.
Yes.
I'm talking like all of Jacksonville.
Like, it will come down at some point in time to a kick.
Well, I was just Olivia's doing a great job putting together a little. We're putting a tribute together for Riley Patterson. There's a lot of fun moments, and I forgot about the Dallas game. The Dallas game, the force OT.
Right.
Remember now in the Dallas game, if my memory serves, Trevor fumbled. Then they got the possession back, and then they drive down, kick the field goal. That was 48-yarder now, so that was a clutch kick. And then they obviously win it in OT. So, yeah, he made some big kicks. But we do in Jacksonville get attached to kickers. One of the favorites of all time is Josh Scobie.
You are right, by the way. I forgot about that against Dallas.
Yeah, I had to until I saw the video. We'll have this video.
0 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, that was actually, from a clutch standpoint, a distance, everything else, that's probably his most clutch kick of the year. I mean, hard to say over.
Oh, that was the time when Ingram had to get out of bounds, right?
Yes. He was banged up and he got out of bounds. Yeah, yep. That was it. There were so many good memories in games of last year that you forget the actual details of some of them. They get muddied in my mind. Mm-hmm. I have to go back and spend the summer watching the games again. You know what's going to really stink about August and September? We probably won't be talking about last year anymore. Yeah. It was actually, for the first time in forever, fun to talk about last year. Or at least the last couple months. All right, what do we have on YouTube? What's coming in? Where does this rank in terms of Riley Patterson, some of the biggest kicks in Jags history? The 36-yarder to beat the Chargers, certainly up there. What else are people saying in the iCryo chat chamber?
Yeah, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch is where you can comment. And the first one had to do with the goodbye emails. Remember Irf? He's wondering why he didn't get a goodbye email at all. But, I'm not going to be able to answer that,
Irf, I didn't even know you were gone for 3 weeks.
I didn't either. There was no email. Anyway, Andy Cray says McManus has far more of a leg. Riley always made me nervous by not being strong enough. David Morton says, yeah, if we're playing in the playoffs in Cincy or Buffalo, we're going to want a kicker with more leg to kick into the weather. Answering the question that I posed to you, David Morton says, nervous if it was beyond 30. Doug even went for it more often than not early in the season. I'm thinking it was for that same reason. Alex says, McManus is washed up and Riley Patterson is young. Riley is much better. Riley Patterson also will save them money for being cheaper. Probably not incorrect there, at least for the cheaper part of it. Sawyer on Twitch says, that's the sad part about it. I'm sure the team feels the same way.
Sawyer, good to hear from you, man.
Going back to your running it back conversation. So, it's a weird thing because you're emotionally attached to this guy, but I think a lot of people can look at it and say, myself included, like, I think they got better today. I think they got a better kicker.
Yeah, and I think if you're looking for the upgrade button, that maybe this was it. And that's a tough decision to make now, and I think it's a tough call to make. I think it's an easy one to stand pat on. Again, I was stunned by it.
I was very surprised as well.
I was stunned by not the acquisition of McManus, but the release of Patterson at this juncture. Like, I didn't think that was the move. Listen, if you make a move in even late August or September, whatever it is, I mean, you're going to go kicker for kicker. I get it. Like May, you don't really have to do that. You don't have to. Now, start carrying 3 kickers and people start looking at you funny, too.
Yeah, not going to make a new rule for the 3rd kicker in case the 2 get hurt. Mr. Pocket Hercules, great name on YouTube. McManus has a better leg. How clutch is he, though?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Again, you get the veteran guy. You get the guy that has a lot more experience. You get the guy with the bigger leg and kickoffs and all that other stuff. So, listen, I trust. Here's the funny thing about it. I think it's a great conversation piece. I think there's an emotional piece here to kickers in Jacksonville and Riley Patterson coming off this past year. I think it's the question of, okay, why? How did this go down? But then here's the fun part with Jacksonville right now. And not everybody's going to sign up for this. But Kasey, I trust him.
Peterson.
I trust the front off. I mean, I trust them to make the right move. Why? You could say, I trust Peterson more, sure. But I trust Heath Farwell after he made the move to Riley Patterson last year.
It's fair.
And I think Trent Baalke has earned the right to be trusted in these spots, too, or the front office, or whoever's making these calls. I mean, Trent Baalke's not making every call, though. He signs the paper at the end of the day, but the conversations are deeper than just Trent Baalke and even Doug Peterson. That's why I think you bring in a Heath Farwell here and others. So it's odd to say. But even if I'm a little stunned by it, I'm like,
I trust him.
I kind of trust him.
Yeah, listen, I trust Doug. I trust the coaching staff that Doug put in place.
It's just not cool to trust Trent. That's why you don't trust Trent.
No, I feel like I'm the only one, but I still, I got serious questions about the draft picks. I got serious questions about why they didn't upgrade the roster, right? And it feels easier for me to pin that on Trent than it does Doug, right? Might be wrong, but that's what I'm doing. That's the route I'm taking, and we'll see who's right or wrong here. But I will give Doug the benefit of the doubt because he's earned that. So if he thinks he's a better option, I'm with you, Doug. I'll be interested to see what he has to say the next time he talks, though.
I do, too. I am looking for, it's funny you say that because I'm thinking of all this stuff. I'm like, I need an explanation.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to wait till next Tuesday.
It's not till Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, the weekend, OTAs, the next one the media's open
right, Mondays.
Is next Tuesday. It's like, I need an explanation, Doug.
We need an emergency
Trent,
presser.
Heath Farwell? Somebody tell me.
Bro.
Explain this one away. Like, I was actually trying to think, what are they going to say?
Did they send Heath up there to do the presser? I'm going to be very surprised. But that'd be cool,
I don't
though,
think they're going to do that. But what are they going to say? Like, why? Again, I asked this question at the start. Why? Well, he's just better. Well, they're not going to throw Riley Patterson under the bus. Here's what they're going to say. Like, he's got a big leg. He's got a lot of games played, ton of experience. Just thought that was a good opportunity. We've got room.
We need
salary cap-wise.
We need more touchbacks.
Yeah, some of the new rules dictate it. You're going to say everything that you have to say without whatever you didn't like about Riley Patterson or why the upgrade. And there's stuff to like about McManus. Like, it's easy. Really, that's what they're going to say. Like, I think I just had the quote to some degree, paraphrasing. It's experience, it's bigger leg. That's it.
It's that simple. Yeah, it's just that.
And so that's why you feel like it was the right move.
I do.
I don't know. Like, I don't have a strong feeling it's the right move. I said earlier today when it happened, I was like, I don't hate it. The more and more I thought about it, I was like, man, tough life to be Riley Patterson.
It is. Emotional roller coaster.
How quick will he get picked up?
You would think. I mean, we just talked. He had a good statistical seat. He made the kick that's like, if the NFL put moments of the season, it's in the top 10. Solely because of the comeback. It capped everything. It wasn't the most incredible kick of all time, obviously, but it's the moment that you can, point to. They had all these other moments in the game, so they didn't win the game yet. They had to win the game, and that's the moment. It's a moment of the season. This guy will, next week. By next week.
John says it really came down to kickoffs. Patterson was 50% with touchbacks. Simon says he barely could reach the 5-yard line on kickoffs in the cold weather at Kasey. Logan has come in for kickoffs. Also made a 55-yarder for the winning kick, barely made the 35 versus LA. Okay, well, He's not getting cut because he just snuck it in the upright against the Chargers, all right? Nobody measures that. You either miss it or you don't.
If he just snuck it out, yes, he would have been cut.
That's not what you're getting cut for. Alex says, they got worse, dummy. I don't know who he's talking about. Maybe me. McManus is on the decline. Riley is better. I don't know if you can say that.
It could have been me.
McManus washed up. I think this is the same guy. Riley's much better. Get rid of Bulky. There we go. I
don't think you're getting fired over a kicker decision.
Alex has really heard about this. He's tweeted at me in 6 different ways that he doesn't like it.
Oh, bro, Alex is in YouTube, too. He's real upset about the situation. Hey, you know what? You do what you got to do.
We got some big kicks, what I asked for as well. Scobie, 59-yarder, of course. That's, funny.
Are you saying Scobie sent in his own kick?
No. He didn't say it. Several
That'd
people.
That'd be awesome.
And it's just one that resonates with me in my time here. Of course, if you go all the way back, 96 resonates with a lot of people. And Meta World Craze says, maybe not the biggest, but Mike Hollis doinking one in at Buffalo in the fourth quarter back in 96, underappreciated. That stat boy jumps in with a couple. Scobie, 59 yards in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
I made a whole video about that kick, by the way. Lonesome Kicker by Adam Sandler. Also hit the first game winner in Indy in 2004. Hollis made a huge kick at Buffalo that basically sealed the game in 96. Lambeau had some game winners, but they were chip shots. It's interesting. I thought Lambeau, it's not like you remember one kick from Lambeau.
Oh, I do.
Oh, which one do you remember?
Chargers.
In that overtime game that, nobody wanted to win?
Yes.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Everybody had 15 chances to win it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of remember that game too. But I think it was the totality of
it was just
Lambeau being Lambeau-matic, right? That's where that came from. It was okay, he's going to get it. To your point earlier, it's like you trusted that he was going to make the kick.
Yeah. That's what he's the consistency. It's just unfortunate they didn't win more when Lambeau was kicking for them.
You know what's wild to me? One last thought on the kicker as we go 45 minutes deep here on a Thursday. Hey.
It's big news.
I think
it's shocking news.
I think everybody's talking about it. That's what we do here.
Yeah.
And now I forget what I was going to say. No, here's what I was going to say.
Cool.
Matthew Wright, your guy.
Loved it.
Riley Patterson, Middleton's guy.
Yes.
I think they are both most likely getting released or replaced because of their kickoff length, which really stuns me because going back to the Matthew Wright stuff when we had this whole thing going on, this day and age, I feel like I see high school kickers and all the college kickers knocking it through the end zone. So I'm surprised. Now, I understand, high school, I think there's a different starting point, but we really do see high school kickers kicking it big legs. And where everything's bigger, faster, stronger in our sports world, every quarterback in the NFL can throw it 60 yards now without taking a step, right? Everybody runs a 4.4. Isn't it weird that we're finding some kickers that are very good at getting it through the uprights, but they don't have a big enough leg on kickoffs?
Yeah, man. I just think simply there, I know you practice kickoffs. I'm kidding here, but what are you doing when you're going to practice? You practicing kickoffs or are you practicing to make field goals?
Yeah, I get it, but why, if you can kick a 60-yard field goal, even in practice, can't you put it through the end zone on a kickoff?
Maybe the factor of adrenaline?
Yeah,
what adrenaline do you have kicking it?
That tee takes something off it, I guess, for some.
Yeah.
Listen, Riley Patterson's not a big guy. Doesn't take big guys to have big legs either, though. I just think that part's fascinating. I'm trying to liking it to any other sport where you're really good at this, but your size and strength or ability to hit it deep, you're not good at.
I think the only thing the Rays almost just tried to blow it. They do win though, but I think that is a comparable one. Can you get the last 3 outs? Some guys are great in the 8th inning. They can't pitch the 9th.
Yeah, that's a good call.
It's as close as I can find.
He's got you got all the stuff right to get outs. But you can't get out in that situation.
Right.
The only thing that's different, and I get we're reaching here, but the difference there is that's a mentality. Kickoffs aren't a mentality. The kid's actually got the mentality, Riley Patterson, to knock it through when all the pressure's on him. Just a wild thing. I'll have to ask Scobie about that. Why is that a thing? I feel like all kickers should be able to kick it through the uprights now off the tee from the 35.
You would think.
Let's take a break. Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Good luck to Riley Patterson. I think everybody's this. We'll be rooting for him.
He's a legend.
Yeah, thanks.
Jags legend.
Appreciate it.
Nothing can change
Table
that.
football legend on All Access.
Yep.
At String Sports Brewery last fall.
Almost as many people saw that as they kicked it in playoffs, but yeah.
We will be back. Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Don't forget to check out ESPN690.com. You can win a lot of prizes. Go to the contest page. Tickets, money, ESPN690.com. Check out the contest page, and you can listen to the show, Brent and Friends, right there on ESPN690.com.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
It's fishing time, old school style. The Daly's Old School Kingfish Shootout, presented by Yellowfin, is June 10th in St. Augustine. Fishing fun for everyone. Big boats, small boats, and just a $250 entry fee if you register early by May 31st. The catch for the Old School Kingfish Shootout, limited boundaries. Fernandina Beach to Daytona Beach, but only 3 miles offshore. OldSchoolKingfish.com to register and do it early by May 31st. Get your chance to win over $200,000 in prizes. Fishing fun for everyone, June 10th in St. Augustine. OldSchoolKingfish.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIFT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code LIFT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIFT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIFT.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. This month, you can get 50% off a Connecticut K5 drinking water system with a purchase of a Connecticut Premier Series softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Have you seen your financial freedom wiped out by stock market volatility? It's Rich Jones. Consider investing in real estate funds from DLP Capital. Don Winter is CEO and founder.
DLP Capital has provided our investors with consistent double-digit returns by investing in cash-flowing residential real estate. For more than a decade, we have had zero losses, little volatility, and have shot above our return targets in all of our investment funds. Plus, we offer monthly distributions and tax shelter opportunities.
To get your investor's guide and learn more, dial **invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Live life to the fullest. You hear that all the time, but it's easier said than done when you're in pain, right? Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. QC Kinetics is in the business of giving people back their quality of life and providing much-needed relief from chronic joint pain. And not just providing that relief, but doing it in the most non-invasive way possible using regenerative treatments from your body's own natural biologics. Where's your joint pain? In your knees, hips, shoulders, or back? Well, QC Kinetics concentrates these impactful treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying healing properties where you need them most. And best of all, you walk into the office and walk right out after treatment. No surgery, no downtime, and patients are raving about the results. So what does living life to the fullest look like for you? Finally being able to play golf, hike, walk your dog, enjoy time with your family, whatever it is, don't wait one more day. Get started today. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation, 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522. They're in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra, 904-274-5522.
Stay with ESPN 690 for your chance to see and hear our special events in the Farah and Farah Performance Studio throughout 2023. Powered by Farah and Farah and ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Want to keep talking about kickers?
Why not?
What we got? A couple minutes?
2.
I want to talk about, you brought up a great conversation right before the show that I'd like to get to. We'll do that at 4 o'clock. And think about it. It has to do with the Panthers and the Heat.
Ugh. Yeah.
Pretty wild. Panthers and the Heat playing for championships, potentially. Heat still have a little work to do, right?
They'll be playing for one.
I've got something else. Once in a while, like, I don't lock in. You play fantasy baseball?
Yeah, every day.
See, so I used to do that. When I did, I knew everybody's name and I paid attention to I don't do that. I tell you this once in a while. I'll go look at the standings, once a week or something, because I kind of find it fun to look at standings. And then I look at the run differential. The AL East obviously is amazing this year. And then, everybody in the AL West is good except for the A's, who are the worst in Major League Baseball by 200% more than everybody else.
Probably the worst team to ever play when it's all said and done.
Which is amazing. So then,
been a lot of teams.
I was I'm going to look at the stats. Where's the Miami guy? Is he hitting over 400 still? No, he's down to 371. Luis Arraez, right?
Arraez, yeah.
Arraez. 371, still pretty dang good.
No, it's pretty legit.
For a guy other than you, nobody had heard of.
I mean, they traded him. Crazy. Minnesota.
Elias Diaz from Colorado.
Shout out to him, by the way.
Who is he?
I don't know. He was a minor leaguer for the Pirates forever, bro. I've gotten this guy on 85 cards. I'm glad he's good.
He's hitting 343, second in Major League Baseball.
I didn't realize he was that good, to be honest with you. Good for him.
It's just so funny, when you don't know who these people are. And wow, he's doing well. So then you go, let's see, I'm going to go home runs, okay?
Sure thing.
And that's what I was doing. Obviously, Pete Alonso, we know. Alonso's having a great year. Why can't I find my guy that I'm looking for? Who did I bring up? I'll go RBIs because I think that's where he's at. The Texas guy.
Adolis
Garcia. He leads the league in RBI.
He's killing it.
You wouldn't even know who's first and second in batting in Major League Baseball and leads the league in RBI. Most people wouldn't know their names.
It's a new age.
That's bizarre. And by the way, we are some 50 games into the season.
Yeah, we're in June.
We're almost a third of the way through. Isn't that crazy? So it I guess, shows the depth of baseball.
It is. Rangers are good. I told you.
Yeah,
finally.
The Rangers have really delivered. I think people thought, with the Rangers, okay, they're going to lose DeGrom. Well, they have lost DeGrom, multiple times.
Yeah, 3 times.
And it hasn't mattered. Their offense is incredible. They've really built it up. You talk about changing overnight. Pretty good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a Texas Rangers fan, which I really have never met a Texas Rangers fan.
There's few. Very few. The few, the proud.
I really haven't. 4 o'clock hour we go. We'll talk a little fishing in that 4 o'clock hour. We'll go back to football as well. And the Miami Heat and Florida Panthers playing for championships. How bizarre would that be if Miami can get there? How bizarre would it be if they both won it? Coming out of the 8-hole in the seeding frenzy. We'll be back, Brent Friends on ESPN 690.
Victim of a slip and fall? It takes one phone call to take back control of your life. Anajar and Levine will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call me, Mark Anajar, for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Jacksonville.
This is a busy time of year for families, especially if you have teenagers, kids getting their license, kids going off to college, and someone probably needs a new car, and that's why you go to Nimnick Buick GMC, #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Looking for the perfect truck or SUV? Nimnick Buick GMC has more models on the ground than they've had in over 2 years. Looking for a used car under $18,000? Nimnick has a great selection of over 300 used cars, trucks, and SUVs to choose from. Visit the showroom off Phillips Highway or shop NimnickBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. If you've ever considered owning a quality diamond of a carat or more, now's the time to buy. From now until May 27th, we're holding our big diamond sale, and now is the best time to buy a quality diamond. These are a few reasons why. First, prices for high-quality big diamonds continue to go up. Second, we've arranged with our primary diamond cutters to take their stock of big diamonds on consignment prior to them being offered to the trade at next week's International Jewelry Show in Las Vegas. You can buy from this huge assortment at the lowest prices we ever sell for. All of these diamonds are graded for cut, color, and clarity and have independent laboratory grading reports. Now, along with this vast collection of big diamonds, we put all of our own meticulously selected loose diamonds and solitaires on sale at prices from 3% to 25% off. We also take trade-ins. But remember, this sale ends May 27th at Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the Shops of Ponte Vedra.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
Right now, American Window Products is offering the newest features in window technology with Ultra Dual Low E glass and insulated vinyl frames with magnet weather stripping on windows for an airtight seal to help reduce your energy usage, all at an affordable price. This exclusive offer is for a limited time, so act now to save big with 12 months zero interest financing. Schedule a free estimate at AmericanWindowProducts.com. American Window Products, the window professionals. Financing at time of sale for new orders only.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. It's never happened in the NBA playoffs, winning a series after trailing 3-0. With a win tonight, the Celtics would only be halfway there. And ESPN's Brian Windhorst says Boston tends to play their best when they're either behind or way ahead.
Well, I would say tonight's game, if you are a Celtics fan, you probably want them to be down going into the second half and the fourth quarter. If they're up 4-6 points, look out.
Brian Windhorst on Get Up. Celtics and Heat, Game 5 tonight. No Gabe Vincent for Miami. He's got a left ankle sprain. Our coverage starts at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio. In the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight, Game 4 of the West Final with the Vegas Golden Knights playing for a sweep of the Stars in Dallas. 8 Eastern for that one on ESPN TV. Veteran safety Tony Jefferson retiring after 9 years in the NFL to become a scout for the Ravens. And Team USA beats the Czech Republic 3-0 in the World Hockey Championship quarterfinals in Finland.
It's Wrangler season out there. Open roads, endless horizons. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles made for your next adventure. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year 2 pom-pom people.
Kasey Kuhrts.
Yo! But what are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Get him! Get him! Hit him! Hit him! Hit him! This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Kasey Kuhrts, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio, ESPN 690.
I remember a couple weeks ago saying, do low seeds ever make the NBA Finals?
Yeah.
And we almost got 7 and an 8 seed. Lakers didn't do their part.
Is it good? Is it a good thing?
What, the Lakers didn't do their part?
No, maybe, but the low seed thing.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, because the argument a couple weeks ago was, okay, if every 1 through 4 seed is going to make it, why are we doing this? Like, why are we playing a 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8 if they never make it?
Valid. But the argument that I've had, I think is a fair one, is like, if the Miami Heat win, if the Florida Panthers win, did we really find out who the best team in the NHL was? The NBA? Because I say no. Absolutely not.
You know, that's a great point you bring up, because right now there's a big to-do, like, in college baseball about the SEC tournament. Like, they're all in and hosting regionals. So why play the why play the SEC tournament? Doesn't mean anything. Or, like, the other thing I see a lot in the baseball world, because it's that time of year in college, it's like, why are we playing conference tournaments? You play all year long, and then a team upsets you, and you're a one-bid league, and you go to the NCAAs. But, like, isn't that playoffs in general to a degree? I mean, you can be the number 1 seed and be undefeated all season long. And even though you make the playoffs, you can be bounced in the first round.
It's crazy.
And obviously it happened like the Boston Bruins.
Yeah.
Like the Bruins are a great example here. Like, that's sports.
It is why we love sports. Exactly. But
so should, like, in the theory of that, if you're thinking that way, then the Bruins should automatically, like, go to the championship. Because they're the best team.
I mean, not the championship, but like something, a bye, maybe something. Like, look, there's no doubt that the Florida Panthers have earned it. They beat the best team that's maybe ever played the sport in the regular season, Toronto, who has all the stars, and Carolina, who was sneaky the best team of that group, I think. So they've earned it. But also, they got hot as absolute fire. When you go down that road with Boston.
I didn't know where you were going there for a second.
Yeah, I mean, they're just on fire, my guy. Like, that's the thing. Like, no one's beating them. I think Vegas is the best team left in the NHL. I think the Panthers win it. I just think they're on fire. Like, but they're not the best team in the league. They were not the best team this year. They can win the championship. It'll be great. They're not the best team. Period. We don't know who the best team was.
Well,
we'll never know.
I say that a lot. I mean, you don't have to be the best team to win. I mean, I think it's just the beauty. I think there's, I don't know how else we would do it, but we've always done it that way to mostly. The only time you were the best team and you won and we hated it was college football, because they voted you the best team. We never really knew you were the best team.
That's fair.
Because you played 2 hard games all year. You were the pedigree, built up equity number 1, 2, 3 to start the year. You got 1 huge win.
You won
and you
your
were the
pay
AP
games
number 1
by 85. Yeah.
Or you were the BCS somehow figure it out formula number 1, and we didn't like that. So, yeah, we could crown the Boston Bruins champions of the NHL because they set a record in the regular season. But hey, how about win when it counts, boys?
You're not wrong. I just think it's wild that we're here.
And I do think we like that about sports at all different levels. And obviously, they're not a bad team, Florida.
No. They're good. They're quality. They are a quality team in the league with quality players.
Do you think if they played the series again right now, the Bruins would beat them?
Not right now. If they played in 2 weeks,
That's because they've been on vacation for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I just think nobody's beating Florida right now. Like, they're just in that mode. I think it's the same thing with the Heat. But if you played it 2 weeks before the playoffs started, you play it 2 weeks from now, yeah, I think the Bruins beat them.
Yeah.
I think Toronto might beat them. They are in it. No offense to Chuck, who's been incredible, Barkov and the boys, whatever. Like, their goalie is doing his job better than any other human being on our planet is doing their job. Whatever you get paid to do, you are significantly worse than Sergei Bobrovsky right now. You just are. And like that's where they are.
Are you sure?
Positive. I've seen
right here?
I've seen your work, dog. I mean, this guy's, on fire. Like nobody's doing their job as good as this guy, and that's why they're where they are. It's crazy. You need goaltending to win the cup, and they've gotten it better than anywhere.
In baseball, you don't get skewed as much by the pitcher. You can in one game. But is the goalie in hockey the most skewed team sport position there is?
It is in the playoffs.
Yeah, obviously in this time of year. That's what I'm talking about. Like the World Series, you play best of 7. Now, a guy could theoretically win 3 games of the World Series from the mound.
Not anymore.
Very unlikely, right?
Yeah. That's why the wild card game was so scum. That's why you always bet the underdog in the one-game wild card game, because if you have the guy, you're good.
How are Miami potentially? Let's just assume they beat the Celtics up 3-1 now.
Mm-hmm.
But they were up 3-0.
Yeah. Going back to your tennis background.
Yeah. That's pickleball, tennis.
It's love in pickleball.
No, it's not really.
Okay.
But I just kind of feel my knees are feeling it from the pickleball today, though.
QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics, here we come. But let's assume Miami.
Okay.
Well, you got to talk. Like, is South Florida hopping?
That's the thing.
I don't feel like it.
Like, they don't even know the Panthers are in South Florida. I'll stand by that. They know the Heat are there. So, like, I would feel like they're hopping, but, like...
It's like summer, man. Summer starts this weekend in South Beach.
Like, people are on the beach, not at the arena. They certainly aren't in Sunrise, where the Panthers play.
Like, it's such a weird market, I get it, but it's also, like, weird for it to be 8 seeds making it. I mean, you got to be 2 of the most unlikely situations that you have. I mean, NHL, NBA always mirror each other this time of year. And I don't even know where to begin of how do you equal this? Like, what's the comp? Probably not much. Now, listen, Miami has pedigree. I saw that. Did you see the stat the other day? Pat Riley, as a player, coach, and a front office guy, has now been involved in 25% of the finals all time.
Crazy.
That is nuts.
And, like, it's so odd because Jimmy Butler's a playoff star. Jimmy Butler's a playoff legend. Jimmy Butler a star in the league?
Yeah, I mean, from time to time.
Right. So, like, do they have a star? I don't know. And then if you look at the Panthers, they ain't got a star. They don't have no Connor McDavid. They're doing this because they have gotten great goaltending at an opportune time, and they're better players on their roster who are not stars in the league are doing it at the right time. So does this go to the argument of the super team ain't it? Because the super team in the NHL in Toronto and Edmonton, they're at home. The boys are chilling golfing. And the non-super teams, Vegas, they're not really a super team, but they're pretty close. I mean, they're going to be in it. But the super teams in the NBA are at home because I'm not calling Denver a super team. They didn't buy those guys. They were there.
Yeah, hockey guys can really golf too, by the way, so they enjoy that.
And boys do be golfing.
I'm just trying to think of another. The Panthers are an interesting one to me because, again, Miami's been very relevant from the super team they built to Pat Riley to now Jimmy Butler and some of the runs they've been on. But the Panthers, I call the most irrelevant sports franchise there is in professional sports. Like, I really don't think people know they exist.
Yeah.
And they've been good at this. They've been good 2 out of the last 3 years, I think, like very good.
Yeah, they were the number 1 seed a couple of years ago, maybe 2 years ago, and they didn't get out of the first round.
And now they go as the 8th seed, and now they're making this run. It's a Cinderella run, which actually makes it more interesting, and you buy into it a little bit more. It becomes more of a headline. And on top of that, they haven't been to the Stanley Cup Finals in 27 years. So now you add that. If you look at most overdue places or franchises to go, that would be like, hey, that's pretty cool. Like, what even comes to mind?
Yeah, 95, 96, they were in it.
So, like, Seattle Mariners is one I said to you.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a cool one, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Jets. Aaron's not here, but the Jets.
Yeah, the Jets. I don't know if it would be cool because nobody roots for the Jets, but, like, and it's like, it's New York. Do you really need...
When the that World Series that was Cleveland-Chicago.
Oh, yeah, Cleveland was great. Yeah, that was good.
Cubs and the Guardians.
That was good.
The Indians at the time.
Like, I don't know if the Arizona Cardinals, they've been there before, actually. Like, somewhat recently, in the last 15 years, to the Super Bowl, lost to the Steelers.
Yes, in Tampa. The Nuggets are that team, by the way.
The Nuggets, actually, yeah, we've got it. We've really got it. Now, again, Miami's not that team. Miami's the team that you're like, well, okay, I didn't see it coming. They're an 8 seed, but they've been there. Like, they've had the spotlight. They're Miami of all teams. But Denver's a great call. You know, we had the Washington Nationals win it a few years back, and I know that's like a big market and a big area, but it didn't feel like it.
They were still newish.
Yeah, they're newish, and also the Washington Nationals, from a baseball standpoint, still, in my mind, feels like the Montreal Expos.
Exactly.
Because they had lost so much, and they couldn't get it right, but they had stars, and they win it, and then they lose Harper, and then they win it. That's weird. So that was kind of a fun one.
How about the Rays?
I'll give you, like, the Rays are, but now, the Rays feel maybe because it's
not anymore.
I'm around you and my kid likes them, like, they feel relevant to me.
But 2008, people were in.
Well, Milwaukee Bucks were like this with the Greek Freak.
Yes.
Milwaukee Brewers would be like this, and they've actually been good. Haven't got to that promised land, but they've been good and been in the conversation. And listen, you come back and the Jags would be one of those teams from a football standpoint. It would very much be one of those teams. I think if you have anybody in Seattle, like from when the Seahawks were in it, the Mariners would be interesting. I think people caught on to the Mariners potentially being good this year because of that. And it's okay to like the Mariners.
America's team.
What I don't like, I feel it's funny how teams that just start out, Las Vegas, only been around for a bit.
Yeah.
And here they are. Like, why is that? Why are franchises that just start? Heck, the Jags were an example of that. The Jags in their first 5 years were very relevant, good, and a contender. How you'd think it would take forever for teams that are new franchises, expansion franchises, to be good. And that doesn't seem like that's the case anymore in sports.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle, they didn't get there the Kraken. They didn't, get to the promised land, but they made a deep run. I mean, I guess there is something to be said for we get to take one player from every team. Sure, we don't get your best player, but, you got to give us somebody. You can't protect everybody. You know what I mean? You're not starting over with all rookies or just whoever nobody didn't want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We got anybody on the line? We got somebody on the line in a minute. I thought the phone would ring a couple of times. We're going to talk a little fishing here in a moment. Get you ready for the old school Kingfish Shootout. And that is on the horizon coming up on June 10th. Early registration, by the way, May 31st. $250 registration fee. Very reasonable, and win a couple $100,000 in prizes. That is coming up on June 10th. But you got to get that early registration done by the end of the month. And Paul Dozier joins us to talk a little bit about the big event coming up on the 10th of June and how to register quickly by May 31st. Got a week left, Paul.
Week left, buddy. It's crazy. Today's the last day of school for the kids, and actually a little cool outside today and tomorrow. But then I think we're going to jump right into summer, full-fledged summer. That means king mackerel fishing.
Yeah, we'll get you on a little fishing forecast in a moment. But how? Obviously, you want everybody to take advantage of this early registration, right? $250 to register. You got until May 31st, which is next Wednesday on the calendar to get in. I know it's going to be a big event. You've had a heck of a turnout the last couple years as well, coming up on June 10th. But I know the big push, get everybody signed up by next Wednesday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. It's $250 early entry, which is through May 31st, like you said. And there's really no sense in waiting until the end, because we've designed this tournament pretty much for the smaller boats so that everybody can compete on a level playing field. And if it's going to be too rough for a small boat to fish, we'll postpone the tournament to another day. We're not going to send the fishermen out in real bad weather. So there's really no sense in waiting. So save the $100 and sign up. Go ahead and sign up by May 31st and get your chance to win a 21-foot yellowfin bay boat powered by a Yamaha engine and a Martineau trailer worth $105,000.
About that. Good stuff. Again, by May 31st, $250 for the early registration. Hey, talk about the prizes. You just mentioned it. You got a bunch of different things going on in the tournament on June 10th, from
top 25 places of a cash payout to your Nimnick family of dealerships $10,000 lucky ticket drawing. We like that one. Just catch a fish of any size, right? You don't even have to be in play for the big win, but you can get in the drawing to win $10,000.
Absolutely. The Nimnick family of dealerships is so good to us. We have the Nimnick lucky ticket. And how that works, if you catch a kingfish, it doesn't matter how big it is, how small it is. You take a picture, which you have to with every fish to weigh it, with the beach in the background, and you're entered in a drawing to win $10,000 at the award ceremony. So if you catch a 10-pound kingfish or a 5-pound kingfish or a 40-pound kingfish, you got a shot at $10,000, which is really cool. Last year, a guy that caught an 11-pound kingfish won $10,000 and was able to take his new bride on a honeymoon thanks to the Nimnick family of dealerships. So that was really awesome.
Yeah, you guys have had some fun stories over the years, from families winning the big prizes to that story and pay for your honeymoon story. So keep the stories coming, right, in a couple of weeks on June 10th.
That's right. We also have awesome lady angler prizes and junior angler prizes. We have a junior lady angler prize, which is an awesome weekend at Universal Studios. We have many sponsors that step up for this, for everybody to let us provide these great prizes. We're very grateful for all of them. But there's many ways to win in this tournament, and it's a family fishing tournament. It's not too long of a day. It's not too serious of a day. Again, as we've discussed many times before, you can't purchase live bait. You have to leave. You can't start catching bait until 5 a.m. the day of fishing, so the expenses are way down. And the fishing hours are 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., so it's, like I said, it's not a terrible long day, and kids and families do this together and have a great time, and somebody's going to win a whole bunch of money, and several people are going to win a whole bunch of money, but one person is going to win a whole pile.
Yeah, the whole idea, Paul Dozier visited with us, the whole idea once again for this June 10th Old School Kingfish tournament coming up, shootout coming up on June 10th, is to really even the playing field. And you get just 3 miles offshore. The boundaries are there. You just mentioned the bait. But I love the stories you've told us in the past, big boats, little boats, but also fish off the pier if you want. Just catch that kingfish and get involved in the action.
Well, we've tried to figure out how to bring the pier. We've thought about bringing the pier. They're catching kingfish. There's been several kingfish caught on the pier already this year. The fish are here. The bait's here. Unfortunately, we're going to have a little northeaster for Memorial Day weekend, which is probably going to change things for a while, but hopefully it'll settle all back down and be good. But, yeah, the tournament was designed, fishing tournaments got to be where the big boats with the big budgets were kind of leaving the mom-and-pop family teams behind. And you get these guys that are Fish Pro Tours, and they were basically dominating, the locals. And guys like Frank Vining, they go run 100 miles down the beach and catch these big kingfish and then come back, and the little bay boats wouldn't have a chance. So we leveled the playing field, and it's worked out really well for us and the fishermen love it, and it's big fun for us as well. It's awesome to see all the families fishing together.
Well, each week we do a fishing forecast presented by Nimnick Buick GMC. Give us a forecast. You just mentioned it a little bit. What's it look like as everybody really kicks off summer in a big-time way this Memorial Day weekend?
Well, tomorrow there's a gale warning in effect, so that's no good for anybody anywhere. So Top Golf might be a good spot tomorrow for the kids or something along those lines. And then we'll get back to laying down a little bit on Saturday afternoon. Sunday, the ocean might still be a little bit stirred up to get offshore. Maybe fishable for the larger boats on Sunday, but by Monday it looks beautiful. There should be kingfish available on the inshore reefs. Offshore, there's still a few dolphin around. There's been quite a few sailfish caught. Occasional wahoo, occasional marlin even. Bottom fishing's really been the story offshore. The mutton snapper fishing we have going on out there is very good. The charter boats are catching 10, 12, 15 big mutton snappers, which are like 8 to 15-pound fish usually, and along with the beeliners, a vermilion snapper, triggerfish, and normal stuff. Hopefully there'll be kingfish on the beach soon. I wouldn't think this weekend would be the weekend to fish the beach for kingfish, just because this hard wind's going to stir it up, which also should make the surf fishing tough as well. Inshore, redfish are in the creeks and along the riverbanks, along with some flounder. The flounder come in this time of year from offshore, so you can catch flounder. They catch the big flounder around here in the fall. But, 1 to 4 pound flounder, you should be able to get a few of them with live mud minnows or mullet in the river or the intercoastal. That's about all I've got for now, Brent, but as far as the fishing, but I think Sunday, Monday is probably fishable, but Friday and Saturday are probably going to be a stretch.
All right, man. Old School Kingfish Shootout coming up June 10th. OldSchoolKingfish.com to register by next Wednesday for that early registration fee, $250. And by the way, coming up as we get closer to the tournament, we're going to give away an entry into the Old School Kingfish Shootout. Paul Dozier, thanks for taking some time, man. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Brent. I appreciate your help as always, and good luck to everybody out there. Hope to see you soon.
All right. That is Paul Dozier. It's our fishing forecast as well, presented by Nimnick Buick GMC, and it'll be fun. We're going to be down live there in St. Augustine on June the 9th for all the festivities leading up to the event, so we look forward to that as well. We're going to go fishing sometime, man. Paul's going to take us.
We should.
We're going to do it.
Sweet.
Doesn't sound like tomorrow with gale winds is a good idea.
No. Sounds like Topgolf.
Topgolf. Or regular golf and just get behind the gale wind.
That's a good idea.
And let that driver eat.
See, where I thought you were going is where I'll push you towards is golfing with the Dream 18.
Well, I was going to get there, but thanks for pushing me that way.
You're welcome,
ActionSportsJacksDream18.com for the Dream 18 card. Excellent gift idea. Dad's Day coming around the corner. Get it now. I'll get it delivered in time to you. ActionSportsJacksDream18.com. You got Dad's gift wrapped up. I'm helping you out. He's going to love it. Golf at a discounted rate. Save hundreds of bucks for the rest of the calendar year. All you have to do is go to ActionSportsJacksDream18.com. And while you're there over the next couple of weeks, you'll be able to register for our Action Sports Jacks Dream 18 golf tournament coming up at Southampton in September. Save the date, September the 18th. We'll be right back.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy and breezy today. A few brief showers, highs near 80 degrees. The rain increases later tonight and will continue into tomorrow morning. And then we'll get in some afternoon sun, and it'll be windy for you Friday. Highs only in the mid-70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, proud to offer a huge selection of both lab-grown and natural diamonds at the lowest prices guaranteed.
The Low Post Podcast with Zach Lowe.
Tatum, I think at worst, he's third in MVP right now. He's playing defense at a borderline all-defense level. He's too young for these conversations to really start in earnest. If he's a Celtic for life for most of his career, he has a chance to be historically, for one of the two historic giants in the league, as great as any player who's ever worn that uniform, including Bird.
Check out the Low Post Podcast on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I think my battery's dead.
With free battery testing and charging, AutoZone is here to help.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
What if I need a new one?
We have the right batteries right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
And what if I don't know how to connect it?
No problem. We have a how-to for you at AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. This month, you can get 50% off a Connecticut K5 drinking water system with a purchase of a Connecticut Premier Series softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
If you feel unsafe in your own home, you don't need to suffer in silence. Hubbard House has free, confidential shelter and services for survivors of domestic violence in Duval and Baker counties. Learn more about the resources available to you by calling the 24-hour hotline at 904-354-3114 or by visiting hubbardhouse.org.
Here's Ben and John Lupo, owners of Beards Diamonds.
It's funny, my dad has sold people engagement rings, and now I'm selling their kids engagement rings and anniversary gifts and birthday gifts now for their children and grandkids. So it's pretty cool to see that family tree grow.
We're blessed with the relationships we've built over the years. Our non-commissioned sales associates are experts. They have only one goal: your complete satisfaction.
We have a 6,000 square foot showroom with anything and everything that you can want. Beards Diamonds has been family owned and locally operated since 1981.
40 years later, it's still our goal to offer the largest selection of quality diamond jewelry at the best prices in Jacksonville, guaranteed. The reason we can make that promise? As Beards owners, we are on the floor helping you with your purchase. We have no corporate bosses setting the price. The chain stores can't touch our prices. They just can't.
Check out our full inventory at beardsdiamonds.com. Come in and see us. We'd love to help you. Anybody that steps foot in our stores is automatically a part of the Beards family.
Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
It's fishing time, old school style. The Daly's Old School Kingfish Shootout, presented by Yellowfin, is June 10th in St. Augustine. Fishing fun for everyone. Big boats, small boats, and just a $250 entry fee if you register early by May 31st. The catch for the Old School Kingfish Shootout, limited boundaries. Fernandina Beach to Daytona Beach, but only 3 miles offshore. OldSchoolKingfish.com to register and do it early by May 31st. Get your chance to win over $200,000 in prizes. Fishing fun for everyone, June 10th in St. Augustine. OldSchoolKingfish.com.
Hi, this is Earl Ron. I'm the president of New South Window Solutions. What I'd like people to understand about our company is what's unique about us. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. We go out of our way to make it easy.
Going on now. Save 35% off factory direct windows and doors. Visit newsouthwindow.com.
What? They did not tell me they were going to do that. I need a new bank.
Well, actually, One-to-One Financial doesn't do the usual bank surprises because we're not a bank. We're a credit union. And that means lower loan interest, things like free checking and member rewards, and of course, total investment back into our community.
I'm sold.
Find a better way to bank than big banks with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit 121fcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA.
At Simply Safe, we design award-winning security to protect every inch of your home. It's easy to set up yourself, and now there's an even easier option. Have an expert do it for you with Simply Safe Pro Install. Always protecting, never a contract. 2 easy installation options, backed by 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. Get 20% off any new system with interactive monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
I've been driving commercial vehicles for 20 years. Every big road across this country, anywhere the work takes me, that's where I'm driving. But that's not where I'm going. I'm going to see my little girl graduate high school and my boy get married and to teach my grandkids a thing or two. And I realize everyone out there is going somewhere. So it just makes sense to help each other get there safely. Let's all get where we're going. Learn more at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Paid for by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690. Welcome back. Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Kasey Kuhrts. Is Aaron Schachter part-time?
I heard from Aaron today. It's kind of weird. I think he's at Checkers again with the monster trucks.
Is that where he was at one time? Like the other day, it was at Checkers, but was he with monster trucks or was that back during monster truck season?
No. They brought the monster. So believe it or not, the main appeal of people going to Checkers was not Aaron from the Eagle. It was the monster truck. Aaron was the consolation prize. So it was kind of a...
Aaron was the guy in the back eating a burger.
Literally. So, the monster truck is out there. Actually, it may be over. I don't know how that works. Don't work there. But
still don't have any Checker burgers.
Still did not Yeah, it's just bad situation. And I've actually was told yesterday there was no situation where we were getting any today. I guess this remote is pretty far away compared to the other one that was much closer.
Well, this is interesting.
Wait. Go
ahead. See this too?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Did the Jags never release Riley Patterson?
I guess not.
The Lions are trading for Riley Patterson.
Sweet.
Undisclosed draft pick.
Nice. Another 6th.
Another 6th. Here we come.
It doesn't say that just to confirm, folks, but it says late round. Maybe it's a 7. Probably a 6. You know how we operate. Good.
Does this make you feel better that they didn't just release him, but they got an undisclosed draft pick?
Nope. Not even a little bit.
Well, you're okay with him being released, so shouldn't you feel better that now they got something for him?
Yeah, well, yes. So just to confirm, if you're just jumping in here, I think they did get better with McManus. I thought it was a good move. I am strongly against 6th-round picks.
Yeah.
I'm so over it, so I would rather him just go.
I'm strongly against draft picks.
Just period.
Yeah, I become like, I don't want any draft picks anymore.
So like a 7th.
After the first 4 rounds, I'm like, okay, get out of here.
Yeah, a 6th or a 7th.
Sorry, with all due respect, I hope the Jags found a diamond in the rough with the 13 that they picked.
Yeah, unlikely. Happy for Riley Patterson. Weird that it's the Lions. Aren't they the ones that cut him last year?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's weird. But good for he was in demand, which is kind of what we thought, kind of the reason we thought that they were getting rid of him and not holding him on the team just in case McManus is bad or whatnot. So shout out to him, a team that I guess cut him a year ago, really wanted to bring him back in, and hopefully he wins the job there.
This is weird. Riley Patterson leaves the building, says goodbye. I guess the paperwork never got through before the Lions are like, hey, we'll trade for him instead of pick him up.
Yeah, weird.
Some interesting mechanics.
Yep. Well, now it's over for sure.
Now the Lions really look goofy, though.
Not really.
No?
Well,
they let him go, and now they're trading for him?
Yeah,
I understand you can only keep one kicker, but if the Jags did this, you'd be like, I can't believe you're going to give up a pick for that.
It's true. It's clunky. It's definitely clunky. And, it's a Lions, it's a Jags move. It's the teams that you think would make a move like this. But, and I guess I don't know this to be true, but if the Lions lost 3 games because of their kicker last year, then yes, okay, you should be mad if you're a Lions fan. But, other than that, do people even realize that he was on their practice squad last year at a time, or their training camp roster?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they were saying. Listen, Detroit wasn't complaining last year either, right? They had a nice season. So I don't know what they were saying in Detroit as he's kicking game winners or game tires against Dallas and game winners against the Chargers and making 30 out of 35. What did Detroit's guy do last year? I don't even know. But there wasn't a lot to complain about in Detroit. That's pretty wild. Just an interesting day around Riley Patterson. I'm telling you, for me personally, in my 24 hours, went from seeing the guy, talking to him a little bit about the offseason, wake up this morning, play a little pickleball.
Oh, jeez.
Check my email.
Gone.
He's gone. Brandon McManus is in. And now here we are some 6 hours after that happened. And now the Jags are getting an undisclosed draft pick for him.
Nice.
I really would like to know what happened in this whole scenario.
Yeah,
I'll find out.
Send a follow-up. Yeah, you'll find out. Good for Riley Patterson.
In lieu, the Jags have said, in lieu of waiving Riley Patterson, we have traded.
They just hadn't done it yet, I guess.
The Lions announced it.
That's weird, huh? So they hadn't done it. They hadn't waived him.
My guess is this.
But they told everybody they did.
I feel like 4 o'clock is around the window of business closes and transactions go through in the NFL.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
And I don't pay attention to that part of it as much because Schefter and Rappaport and everybody tweet everything out, and we just get it from them now. They are the league spokesperson on the transaction wire. But I'm assuming that could have been the case. As this day goes along, the Jags are announced. Let me go back to the email on the Jags. Hang tight with us, folks, but I want to get to the bottom of this. I'm interested in it.
It is certainly interesting.
The team announced this morning
Here you go.
at 10:31
in a press release that they've signed Brandon McManus and waived Riley Patterson.
This guy has taken his stuff. We have removed his nameplate. He is no longer here at 10:31 a.m.
And now he's been traded.
At
so again, like, this is
4:29.
that because it's announced around now. My guess is this had something to do with that 4 o'clock window. And Detroit, maybe they felt like there was a lot because listen, when you get waived, the agent's phone starts ringing, right? And there's probably a lot of activity around Riley Patterson. We wondered where he would land.
And in fairness, he probably wasn't going to pick the team that cut him last year.
Yeah, good point. And so instead, you make a trade for him for an undisclosed pick. Smart move. This is a lot like if you're in the 7th round, you have a pick left in the last 20, 25 picks. You go pick the guy instead of go get the undrafted free agent because, one, it might cost you more, but 2, you're going to have a lot of competition for him.
True.
Which I'm sure happens a lot in the 7th round. And I think that's what basically the Lions did here is like, listen, we're in the market for him. We're interested in him. We don't want to outbid people for him. We might lose out on him. Let's just go trade for him.
Well, the Lions went through 3 kickers last year, so maybe they were a bit upset that Riley Patterson was no longer on the team. Michael Badgley, was he here at any point?
I think he was.
Shout out to him. He made
or maybe we just fans wanted him around here. I don't know.
I think he got cut around the same time they didn't have anybody. Made 83% of his kicks last year. Austin Siebert made 60% in only 3 games. Dominic Eberle made 100%, 1 kick in 1 game. But Badgley was their kicker for the majority of their games, 12 of them. And by all accounts, pretty good. At least decent.
Okay, so let's go take this from everybody's point of view. Jags fans, how are we feeling? Wave one of the heroes of last year. You're attached to him. But now you traded for him and you got something. And you got a guy in Brandon McManus. He's got a bigger leg. He's got more experience.
Good day.
Feeling pretty good?
Good day of work.
Better than you were a couple minutes ago when you weren't getting anything for Riley Patterson?
I mean, I guess. Yeah, like, I don't, the picks or whatever.
Does the trade feel better that you didn't just kick him to this? Listen, this was a conversation at 3 o'clock we had. This is really weird when a guy is a free agent, Arden Key, Jawan Taylor. It's like, all right, well, listen, you might get outbid. They're going to go to the market. They're going to earn their money. That's part of the business. To waive a guy that was successful for you when you're running it back in 2023.
It's like some Leonard Fournette type stuff.
Yeah, and quite frankly, to waive a guy that had a better year than the guy you're bringing on. Yeah. That was a little peculiar. It doesn't sit too well. Now you trade him, and now you can start promoting the good stuff again with McManus. Bigger leg, experience, all this stuff. Take it from Riley Patterson's camp or him. You feel better that you got traded, or now you're mad because now you're going to Detroit and I could have gone anywhere I wanted?
Probably mad I got traded, to be real with you. Like if, and again, we have no idea, but you would think if he was traded for, there was some at least interest from multiple teams when the news came down, 10:30 this morning that he was going to get released. So if I'm Riley Patterson, I think I'm like, really? Like now I don't get to pick because they do have a kicker. I mean, I assume Badgley is still on the Lions. So now you're competing again when, there's other spots that you might have had a better chance of making the team. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Denver. They got rid of their kicker. I don't know if you heard. He's here now.
I think if you're Riley Patterson, you're probably like, thanks for screwing me twice today, Jags.
Literally. I would agree with that.
No, it's not the worst situation. The Lions are good. He's familiarity there.
He still has a job, which you don't know if you're going to have when you get cut.
Yeah, so that's cool. Now, take it from the Lions side of things. You're like, you know what? It's a smart play. Good chess move. We're playing chess. Everybody else playing checkers. You want to sit here and wait and see if he's going to come? We got to outbid? No, we don't. We're going to trade for this. We don't care about 6th-round picks here.
Meanwhile, the Lions fans are like, we traded for a kicker? Like, for real? Honestly?
They're happy to see Riley come back. I bet right now in Detroit, you're like, hey, this guy was good for the Jags. Down in Jacksonville, they're wondering a little bit why they made the move. And we're getting them.
They're doing the same thing we're doing.
So we've had a hard time with kickers. So
yeah.
Pretty wild day
Weird
around
day.
Riley Patterson. This is really odd. Like, I guess the Jags jumped the gun on the press release.
Yeah.
If we see the next press release on a transaction come out around 5 o'clock instead of 10 in the morning?
We know.
We'll know.
Somebody jumped the gun. For immediate release was not actually for immediate release.
Man. Usually the team's the last one to announce a move.
I thought that too. I was like, really? Schefter didn't have this? Now, granted, it's kicker talk, but.
It's great. Yeah, it's kind of fun.
I thought the same thing this morning. I was like, why are they announcing this? Whatever.
We will talk a little bit more about Riley Patterson and why, and the Brandon McManus part of this for the Jags. That, again, I don't think anybody's hating on the McManus part of this. I think the curiosity, the emotional attachment to everything else last year was really the story around Riley Patterson. And, again, I think you take this all as good stuff, that the Jags release a guy, well, now trade him, but they had released him. And you're like, wait a minute, don't do that. We don't want to break this thing up. Which is a very interesting view because the Jags are trying to run it back quite a bit. And you don't want it to be broken up. Like, wait, don't upset anything right now. I'm trying to think of a move that they could make that would feel like that in this sense. I'll give you another one. I'll give you an example in the draft. When the Jags added Ventrell Miller. And not that Shaq Quarterman has played anything great or a lot. But he makes the huge play on Derrick Henry last year.
Sure, yeah.
And as soon as they drafted Ventrell Miller, and I was like, oh, maybe Shaq Quarterman's gone, I was like, oh, get the tribute video for one of the big plays, really, that was made last season. I mean, Shaq Quarterman, a big part of it, local guy, hasn't had a ton of snaps, hasn't had a lot of impact, but he sure did that day. That was a huge moment in that game.
It was.
And I guess that has a little bit of, like, if he were to get released or traded or something like that, because it's getting crowded in that linebacker room, I would have the feel maybe of what just transpired today with Riley Patterson.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, did he come back?
No, he's not back. I don't have the breaking news sound, but Dove, our guy, reporting the Jags are getting a conditional 7th round pick in 2026.
That is wild.
2026. I actually feel worse.
A 2026 conditional pick in the 7th round.
This person that is picked in the 7th round of 2026 may never play in TIAA Bank Field as we know it.
Yeah, I mean,
actually, the odds are against him.
No, that pick's first game is going to be
at the baseball grounds.
First game might be in Orlando,
Daytona International Speedway, Wembley Stadium, any of those.
Oh man, what is going on here?
Can you trade 2026 conditional 7s?
I was going to say, can you go that far out? I guess you can.
They've been working on this since 10:30. This is why it took so long. They're like, what year? It's conditioned? Like, what? No.
All right. In this case, then just let him go.
Just let him go.
Now I'm even more pissed off if I'm Patterson if I don't want to go to Detroit. You traded me for a pick 3 years from now?
2026. Like, a 7th. You know how long it's going to be until they make this pick?
That's 3 draft cycles, which is really about 4 years now.
They will be drafting a kid that's in high school right now.
Like as a freshman. Well, he's a sophomore. He's going to his sophomore year. He just played his freshman spring game in high school. No. I'm sorry. You're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm wrong. He played his senior spring game in high school.
Yes.
Or he could be a freshman spring game in college, I guess.
2026. 7th?
I've got to ask, I can't wait to hear the sound on this on Tuesday.
This is going to be the longest wait for compensation in the history.
I wonder if that's ever happened, like 4 years down, 3 years, 3 drafts down the road, but really like 47 months worth of draft wait.
Do we even know where the 2026 draft will be?
I mean, there possibly might be like only 5 rounds of the draft by 2026.
Then what? Do we get a 5th at that point? Like, cool.
What a wild day, Riley Patterson. Let's take a break. Brent Friends on ESPN 690. We'll try to navigate through the Riley Patterson stuff a little bit more during the 5 o'clock hour. Got some football coming up There are lists upon lists and rankings upon rankings. You know what's wild is I feel like there's a new quarterback ranking every day. I'm not talking about quarterback rankings anymore. Trevor's in the middle of it. Trevor's in the middle of it. That's fine. We're putting a moratorium on it. No more quarterback rankings.
You better tell Schachter.
I got to tell him. I see a different one every day. I'm like, what are we doing? I just saw one yesterday. We get it. I know who the top quarterbacks are in the NFL. I mean, we got Kyle Brandt trying to put 6th-tier Trevor Lawrence and everybody else trying to shove him into an MVP conversation. No more.
No more.
No more quarterback rankings until September.
Sounds good.
I'll even go a little in late August in case somebody gets hurt or something like that for another team. We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
True House, a leader in the structural building component industry for over 35 years, is hiring full-time trust builders in Jacksonville and Crescent City. Benefits include 401k plan, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, and professional growth. Great starting pay for experienced construction pros, plus production incentives allowing you to earn up to $2 more per hour in your weekly paycheck. Most employees work Monday through Thursday, giving you more time with your family on the weekends. Apply for the full-time trust builder position at truehouse.com/careers.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
It's fishing time, old school style. The Dailies Old School Kingfish Shootout, presented by Yellowfin, is June 10th in St. Augustine. Fishing fun for everyone. Big boats, small boats, and just a $250 entry fee if you register early by May 31st. The catch for the Old School Kingfish Shootout, limited boundaries. Fernandina Beach to Daytona Beach, but only 3 miles offshore. OldSchoolKingfish.com to register and do it early by May 31st. Get your chance to win over $200,000 in prizes. Fishing fun for everyone, June 10th in St. Augustine. OldSchoolKingfish.com. We want you to join the show on ESPN 690. Brent Friends daily, 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. Make a comment in the iCryo chat chamber on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Be part of the discussion and visit iCryo in St. Johns County. Elevate your lifestyle.
Just be confident. Community First makes smarter banking simple so you can relax, knowing you're managing your money the right way, yours. Visit communityfirstfl.org. Community First Credit Union. Just be yourself. Federally insured by NCUA.
This is a busy time of year for families, especially if you have teenagers, kids getting their license, kids going off to college, and someone probably needs a new car, and that's why you go to Nimnick Buick GMC, #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Looking for the perfect truck or SUV? Nimnick Buick GMC has more models on the ground than they've had in over 2 years. Looking for a used car under $18,000? Nimnick has a great selection of over 300 used cars, trucks, and SUVs to choose from. Visit the showroom off Phillips Highway or shop NimnickBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
1946 was a year of firsts. The first commercial use of a microwave oven, the first album release from Frank Sinatra, and the first name in Jacksonville roofing opened for business. Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company's commitment to protecting Northeast Florida homes spans 3/4 of a century. For roof repairs or replacements, make sure your first call is to the first name in Jacksonville roofing, Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company. Request a free estimate at jackcwilsonroofing.com. Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company, the first name in Jacksonville roofing.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Men, are you suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? The medical providers at Prime Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pills or surgery. 98% of men see instant results on their first office visit. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Men are even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
But that's not all. For a limited time only, call Prime Men's Medical Center now, and your initial consultation and first treatment with our medical providers are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 904-206-7930. 904-206-7930. That's 904-206-7930.
Hi, Sarah. I'm sorry I'm late. The traffic is crazy.
Yeah, it is. And it doesn't help that gas prices have skyrocketed. I can't believe how much it costs for gas now.
Everyone's talking about how much gas is, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app, and I get cash back for every gallon of gas I buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid real cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yeah, real cash every time I buy gas.
What? That sounds like it could really add up.
I've made around $200 already.
Wow, that's serious extra money. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CAR3 for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CAR3 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus in your first tank. That's code CAR3 for 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill-up. Cashback's not available in gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent AS Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690. Okay, we can't get over this. The Jags just traded Riley Patterson 6 hours after they sent a release out that they waived him. And they traded Riley Patterson for a 7th-round pick that will not be used. And if Kasey's calculations are right, more than 1,000 days.
1,067 days to be exact. A projection of when the 7th round of the 2026 NFL draft will be. I'm looking like April 25th, the way the calendar shakes out. To confirm, it is at a unidentified location as of now. We do know that the 2025 draft is in Green Bay because nobody else wanted it. So who knows if there will even be a 2026 draft if nobody's wanting these drafts anymore. But yes, 1,067 days from today, that pick will be used. I also project, Brent, that it will be the most traded pick in the history of traded picks in the NFL. This pick will change hands 7-8 times.
That'd be wild if it did.
The Jags will trade this
pick. Do you think a 7th-round pick changes hands?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This will be the most traded pick of all time. They will write stories about this pick. The person...
It'll be the what do they call that? The 6 degrees of separation or something?
Something like that.
Like that kind of thing, like some 8 years down the road, who won a Super Bowl, and this guy made the winning player. He was the MVP, and it came from the 7th pick that was traded in 2023 after Riley Patterson had been waived. It starts there. 10 years later, the story ends with somebody holding up an MVP trophy in the Super Bowl.
This person has no idea what will be bestowed, I think is how you say it.
That's good.
Upon them. In 1,067 days when they are picked in the 7th round.
What are you going to be doing in 1,067 days from now? I will be either almost 50 or 50. I can't even figure out the math if I can have turned it. I'll be 5-0.
Are you 47?
No, I'm 46. So I'll be on the verge of 5-0?
April 25th, Brent. You know when your birthday is. You won't tell anybody else.
April 25th, 2026?
Again, yes. This is just a guess.
I still can't do the quick math on it.
All right, forget it.
But I'll be almost 50 if I'm not 50 already.
I certainly won't be here.
Yeah, you've said that like for every month.
Bro, there's a serious if I am here on April 5th, 25th, 26th.
You might be hosting the show. Promotion.
There's been a problem.
Or we trade you for a 7th-round pick in 2000. We trade you for a 30-second commercial in 2026.
Bro, I would be hot.
That would be awesome.
That'd
be great if you could do that.
For
you trade for commercial inventory. We might want to start that in the biz.
Where would you send me, though? I don't want to go over there.
Why not? We got some great listeners in North Dakota. Go to the ski slopes of Montana. Listen with that guy in the chairlift.
Oh, yeah, that guy who got thrown off of Twitter.
Go Ireland. Andy Cray.
I'll be waving
London,
the flag for the pick.
England. Australia.
What a mess.
Remember, we have a listener in Singapore.
That's right. My man's I sent the hoodie to in
Where was that?
Where was that? Iceland?
Iceland, yes.
1,067 days away. The Jags will finally get to make a pick to replace the kicker that maybe made the most legendary kick in the history of the franchise. That day is coming. 10:66 tomorrow. But right now it's 10:67
We'll
days
do
away.
a countdown daily here on ESPN 690, Brent and Friends. And if for some reason we start to have a kicker curse around here, this is the day it started.
Yes.
Football at 5 next on ESPN 690.
Jacksonville is a great place to live. And if you love where you live, you should invest in it. That's why more and more people bank with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. We invest every penny back into North Florida, backing the very best small businesses, nonprofits, and of course, the family home. Why put your money with some big out-of-state bank when you can invest in where you love to live? One-to-One Financial. We're your hometown credit union. Sign up today at one-to-one-fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
When a person is injured in a place of business or is the victim of a crime in those same places, what happens immediately afterwards is so very important. Let me explain. When you're injured or attacked in these places, you can make a claim, but it's on you to prove that the situation that caused your injury was known or should have been known by those in charge. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. So here's what's important and here's what we do. The sooner we can get our SWAT team out to investigate, the better. And listen, those responsible will work fast to repair and even hide what happened. And if you can't prove your case, you can't win your case. Time is of the essence. I even recommend having someone go back with their cell phone to take pictures before you hire us. Don't let delay cost your family. Our injury SWAT team is ready to roll 24 hours a day. Injured? Dial Pound Law on your cell. Pound Law, that's all. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKB Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau. Check out Action Sports Jacks weekdays from 3 until 6 on ESPN 690.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. With Eric Spoelstra as their head coach, the Miami Heat have never lost 2 straight series-clinching games in the same year. Tonight, in Boston, they get their second chance to close out the Celtics. ESPN's Monica McNutt says Boston is the more talented team, not necessarily the better team.
What we've seen from Miami is a team that is certain in their identity in terms of basketball and their character, right? There is no way that a game is tight and Jimmy Butler doesn't have the basketball. Perhaps that is because of the roster in and of itself, but it's also because they know exactly who they are and who their guy is.
Monica McNutt on Get Up. Gabe Vincent out for the Heat tonight with a sprained left ankle. Game 5, Heat and Celtics. Our coverage starting at 8 Eastern here on ESPN Radio. Clemson forward P.J. Hall withdraws from the NBA draft. He'll be back with the Tigers in the fall. Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo had surgery on his left foot back in March after signing his free agent deal with the team. Garoppolo got hurt in Week 13 last year playing for the 49ers.
If you need to hire, then you need Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform helps you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been more streamlined. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credit.
Now, your chance to win $1,000 as ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. Sponsored by the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
Enter the word HAPPY at ESPN690.com. That's HAPPY.
by 15 past the hour.
Your next chance to win $1,000 and have ESPN 690 pay your bills happens tomorrow morning at 8. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jax presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year 2 pom-pom people.
Kasey Kuhrts.
Yo! What are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Get him! Get him! Hit him! Hit him! Hit him! Yeah! Boom! Jack! Boom! Yeah! Boom! Jack! Boom! This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Kasey Kuhrts, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Hey, listen, you never know what you're going to expect on ESPN 690.
Oh.
Could have taken it a lot of different ways today on the show. For the first time in the history of this show, with all due respect to Josh Scobie and Josh Lambo, Mike Hollis, and others, we have talked kicker
all day.
Riley Patterson for basically the entirety of the show.
All day. We did one other segment.
and it's the evolution of this thing has been fantastic. It's a big topic, good late May story.
Real good.
It's got the fans buzzing a little bit.
We're buzzing.
That's what we do.
And listen, I just want to be clear, if you're listening and you may be a higher up at this company, we had a whole other show planned until this breaking news came out. Like, we had all the other topics we're just going to have to throw to the side, unfortunately. We'll have to get to those later. So we did have a full show planned outside of Riley Patterson, but it's what the people wanted.
It's what the people wanted is Riley Patterson. Why? Brandon McManus who?
Unfortunately, it's just not who the Jags wanted.
Now Riley Patterson, Jags, Detroit Lions. How?
1067 until they make the pick.
1,067 days and counting. I've confirmed with my wife, who has criticized me for my math skills or lack thereof, that I will not be 50 at the time of the draft pick.
Well, folks, listen, that's a big development here because we don't know when Brent's birthday is. We've actually never known. So now we know it's after April. You see that?
Yeah, very good. Is that how that works? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out the math. I've just been told that I won't be.
I'm not sure. I'm sure you texted Steph
I can't help you
that.
in this one. No, she texted me.
She she's listening. Okay, you don't have my number, Steph.
Very few times she listens. There she is. She's calling in now to tell on me. Maybe not. We'll see. We've got another development happening here in the family of Cox Media Group. The OG producer, Justin Kuhrts. When we started this show back in 2019. Like, we asked these same questions when we start these shows. Was it 2019 or 2020? I don't even remember. I think it was 2019. But we're going on 5 years. So really, the eternity of this show is the next time the Jags are going to be able to use this selection that they got from the Detroit Lions for Riley Patterson, which is just fascinating. Brent Martineau, Kasey Kuhrts, and now we welcome in Kuz. And the reason we welcome in Kuz is twofold. He texted me today, and he's got all the dirt on Brandon McManus because he went to high school with him. Is that true?
I did. We went to North Penn High School. We graduated the same year in 2013.
Wow.
Yep. He probably doesn't even know who I am. If we're gonna be
come
real,
on, you got to play it up better than that, Kuz.
Like, lie, Justin. Come on.
But you know, he was in the popular crowd, and this might come as a surprise to
He's
you.
a kicker.
Yeah, how popular could he be?
No, he did. I do remember the football team giving him a hard time for that. But,
how unpopular were you if he was in the popular crowd as a kicker?
Well, you know, like, he was, like, even though you were, you know, the kicker, he was still on the football team. I was on, like, the marching band. You know what I mean? I was.
That's good. Hey, listen, many times you had a bigger role often in high school. I mean, how much does the kicker come into play in high school?
Actually, our team's motto was just get it to the 55-yard line and let McManus kick.
Really? So he was that good? He was that good in high school?
Yeah, he was really good.
That's crazy. Hey, Justin, let me ask you this. Not to put you on the spot. I know you've been busy. In 1,067 days, how old will Quinn Apple Kuhrts be?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I have to do some math. 365, let's say probably 3 or 4 at that point?
There we go.
Just say 1,068 days old.
Yeah.
All right?
Actually, that would be the easiest way.
Congratulations to you and Nicole.
Thank you.
So when's the actual, do you know the time, the day, I know the dates yesterday, the time, the height, the weight?
Well,
you're supposed to know all those things. I didn't pay attention. I had 2 of them, by the way.
At the same time.
But you should know that stuff.
So what's great is I actually have we're still in the hospital room right now. I have next to me that actually says all that information. So I didn't have to remember it. As you said it, I could just turn it into info. It's right here.
Very good. Hopefully Nicole's doing well. Give her our best. And so dad life 24 hours in is totally different than dad life 72 hours in. The hospital staff is not coming home with you.
I wish they could, because I'll tell you what, they've helped us a ton. And that's probably the only thing keeping us going at the moment.
And you thought you maybe would come home today. Boy, they get you out of there in a hurry maybe today, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Everybody excited? The family excited? You excited?
Everyone's excited. I'm excited. We're having a good old time trying to figure out what Quinn's trying to tell us, and that's been the name of the game, really. What cry means what.
Yeah, get used to that, and get used to not a lot of sleep. What do you do? Are you Are you what do they call this? Paternity leave? Are you on paternity leave now for a while?
I am. I get 2 whole weeks.
2 weeks? Listen, you'll be begging them to rearrange that rule in about 7 days.
Yeah, and what's crazy is they're very strict about it. The place called me yesterday, and they were confused because she was actually born on the 23rd.
Oh, okay.
They're doing the math.
Well, so I worked the 23rd, but obviously Nicole called me and was like, "Hey, I think things are going," so I left. So when I said that, my leave started on the 23rd, they were like, "No, you technically worked the 23rd, so your leave starts on the 24th." And I'm like, "Cool, give me an extra day. I'm cool with it."
Nice. You know what's interesting about that, Justin, is I was actually looking for you the other day that you left early because I needed someone to do trivia on overtime. And then when you weren't here, I was like, I can't believe Justin would leave work early. I didn't even cross my mind. And then we got the email, and I felt like a horrible person.
It was like, oh. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I also, one of the sales guys downstairs was asking me if I could help them out with something. And when they saw that, they hit me with an email. They're like, actually, never mind. I feel horrible.
Yeah, good. Okay. I'm glad I'm not the worst person here. That's good for me.
Kuz, any parenting advice yet from anybody?
Not really, other than just, figure it out on your own. And obviously, if mother's intuition knows best.
Yeah. Yes,
nice.
She does.
Good answer.
That's a very good answer. It's a good start for you.
We got a nice little Jags swaddle here from the Baptist Health Hospital, which is pretty nice.
Very nice.
So, she's got all this cheetah print going on, and it's very themed and fitting for the day.
Awesome. We might have to maybe we'll make one up, a little ESPN 690.
Oh, I like it. I'm
about that. I should have thought about that. Yeah, we'll get on that.
It's almost a lock to happen. We have all kinds of other stuff with the logo on it.
Yeah, you'll be accepting gifts for a long time.
Yeah, it's fine.
Here's the thing. So how little is little Quinn?
Very little. She is 6 pounds 14 ounces.
Doesn't feel that little.
By the way, that's not that little.
It's like 7
Is
pounds.
that little?
She's like the size of my hand, like a little bit bigger than my hand.
Well, yeah, that's true. Like a football.
Somehow I feel like
football.
Nicole would not answer the same way.
But Ty was like 6 pounds 5 ounces, and Kaylee was 5'1".
Okay.
So.
Okay. See, they were like, they were at the same time, so like they combined together to be.
Yeah, well, yeah,
that's true.
That's all Steph.
Yeah.
And Kasey right now is waiting for me to say something to the effect of Ty's doubled his weight in 18 years.
Yes, I am.
That's
waiting
what he's
for
waiting for.
That.
That's I wasn't even going to do it.
I was going to say, Brent, last I heard from producing the show, Ty was close to breaking 100.
He's way more than that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he's
like
up around Kasey's
now.
size. No, he's bigger than that. Yeah. All right, here's the thing. You're about to endure the scariest part of the first bit, if it hasn't been scary enough from a parenting standpoint. The scariest part of leaving the hospital was not the fact that the staff wasn't coming with you, although that was frightening. But you got to get the car seat, right?
Yep.
And then you got to fit little Quinn in the car seat without feeling like you're squishing her, right? And then you are about to embark on the slowest ride you have ever taken on a main road.
Well, and here's what I said to Nicole that I don't think went over well. I said, back in high school when I was driving with some drinks in the car to like a party, you don't want to get pulled over. So like I was driving pretty slow then, not trying to get in trouble, So I feel like this will be a similar drive.
Oh boy. I don't think you're wrong, but oh boy.
I'm not sure we're going there. Just take your time. Take your time. All
We
right.
will.
Give
We
Nicole
will,
our
yeah.
best. Kuz, congratulations.
Yeah, baby.
And
Thanks.
good luck being a dad. It's the best.
Thank you.
All right.
We'll see you in 14 days, no less.
That's right. 14 days. Thank you. Have a good one, Kuz.
Thanks.
All right. And in 1,068 days, she'll be 1,068 days old.
There we go.
And the Jags will finally have used that pick.
They'll make the pick. How about that? Kuz went to high school with McManus.
That is pretty wild, isn't it?
That's wild. It really is.
That's interesting that he said even then, he can never, I don't know. Guys develop, right? Like, do you know if a kicker in high school, even if he's good, is going to make it to the league?
No.
How many people know that?
No.
You got to remember this. A lot of kickers now through the years have come out of soccer programs.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like, if your kicker's goated in high school, you're like, he's probably going to Alabama. But then, like, how many Alabama kickers are there?
Yeah, Alabama doesn't even get that. Like, they don't even bother with the best kickers.
That's actually fair.
Has Alabama had, like, the best kicker in college football?
I don't think so.
More recently, Georgia has had good ones.
Yeah, Rodrigo.
But again, like you don't necessarily marry that up. I wonder, maybe no more now. Like we've got some good kickers, like the kid out of Bartram Trail, Liam Padron, very good. And I don't know if I would say, oh yeah, we're going to see him in the NFL someday. Maybe.
Never know.
I don't know how you project that.
But like in fairness to Justin, I don't know any of the kickers we had in high school. 4 years, went to the school, went to the games, not a clue who the kicker was.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Got no even idea. I don't even have a guess for you.
My buddy Pat, he sometimes kicked extra points. He was an offensive lineman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did he make them?
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, good.
Remember like the old like square toe kind of kickers? Like they would just walk head on, boom, 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 and kick?
Yeah.
Like they looked like they were like marching.
Yeah.
Right? That's what he would do.
There you go, Pat.
He never even went soccer style or anything. It was just straight on.
Pickle Pat, that a baby.
Get us to some tweets. Riley Patterson traded to the Detroit Lions after he was waived today. They said, whoa, we don't want to waive you. We're going to trade you. And Brandon McManus obviously signed by the Jags, and that's the new kicker here in Jacksonville. That's the big story. Where are you taking us, Kasey?
I'm taking us to the biggest story in the NFL today. This from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's been a quiet day.
At 10:34 a.m., this is the key part of this, folks. 10:34 a.m. Thank you, Riley. The moment that confused everybody, what was going on, what the situation was, 10:34 a.m., the Jags waive, or so we thought, Riley Patterson from the team. But not to be mistaken with a computer that's not working. I see why Aaron smashes these mouses. Holy cow, what a mess.
Mice.
Not to be confused with now a tweet from Dov Kleiman. Well after 10:30, 4:41 p.m. this afternoon, the Jaguars are getting a conditional 7th-round pick in 2026. Yes, 2026 from the Lions for kicker Riley Patterson. 1,067 days away, they will make the pick. Riley returns to the place who cut him last offseason in the Lions. He will compete, I guess, with Badgley to be the kicker there. But certainly a roller coaster of emotions day for the Jags kicker after making one of the biggest kicks in franchise history.
Yeah, just to revisit, forget about the whole semantics of everything that took place today, which is pretty wild. I mean, that's a fascinating part of this. But if you go back to the start, what we spent a lot of time talking about early in the show, always go back and listen on the podcast, Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, Action Sports Shacks. And
there's a lot going on here. There's an emotional attachment to this young man, this kicker for the Jags who made 30 out of 35, who made a big kick to tie the Dallas Cowboys, who made a big kick in the Raiders win, even though he had missed one too. He made other big kicks, but he made the biggest kick in the epic comeback win over the LA Chargers that everybody's got this visual of, and he's part of it. 36-yard field goal that he snuck in there and got it done. So that is going to live forever in Jags lore. And with a team that has run it back, with everybody just about coming back from that team that helped flip the franchise, it's very odd to see the Jags make a move today that eliminates one of those guys that helped make those moments. That, to me, is the fascinating part. Now, it doesn't make it the wrong move. I also said this today, that I think this is an organization right now, and this sounds weird, digest it, but I believe it to be true, that you can trust what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, in the Jags, you trust right now. Whoever's making the move. And I'll bring you back to the last year's situation where Heath Farwell, Doug Peterson, Trent Baalke in the front office, when it looked like they had James McCourt, who had kicked perfectly in the Atlanta game, in the final preseason game, and they're like, okay, that's going to be your kicker. They bring in Riley Patterson. They're like, wait a minute, this guy just did his job. Why are you upsetting that? Why even run the risk? Well, it worked. They were right. So will they be right on Brandon McManus? Kasey thinks it's an upgrade. I think a lot of folks do think that it's an okay move. I think there are some folks that don't. And I wonder if they're playing for more of an emotional tie. But McManus, 32 years old, obviously he's a veteran. He's done it a long time. He's more battle-tested. And he's got a bigger leg. And many folks also think this will come down to kickoffs. 69%, I think, is the number for McManus in his career. 50% is the number for Riley Patterson in his short career on kickoffs. Do you take the mile high into consideration on the 69%? Maybe we should. We'll find out. I'm fascinated by the whole thing today. It's pretty wild. And I might be more fascinated and interested in hearing Doug Peterson talk about it on Tuesday.
I agree
it's
with
not
that.
very often that you sit here on a move that gets made on Thursday and say, I can't wait until Doug talks about this next week. And it turns out that he's talking about the kicker.
Kicker move.
But I kind of am. I'm interested.
Oh, I'm extremely interested.
At what went into this and how this all went together. And by the way, I'm not expecting it to be anything outlandish that he says. No. But I am kind of interested to hear about how this thing went down, got done, and why it's taken place in Jacksonville. And again, now Riley Patterson has a home back in Detroit where he came from before he was in Jacksonville. That puts a bow on our 2.5-hour special coverage of Riley Patterson today on ESPN 690.
We will keep the ticker in the top left. You may remember on Action News Jax when they had a countdown to Trevortown. We will have a countdown to the 2026 7th round when they will make the pick. But we move on, and this from Mike Reese, who pays for Twitter. Filed to ESPN, the Patriots are losing 2 days of voluntary organized team activities due to a violation of offseason rules per league sources. This explains the team's announcement about Thursday's practice being called off. Another OTA next week will be taken off as well. Bill Belichick, we found out later. This came out last night. We found out today more so that Bill Belichick will be fined a good amount of money. And we found out what this comes from, and it is the homie Joe Judge.
Oh.
Keeping players in meetings for significantly longer than he was allowed to.
Come on, Joe.
Now, some on Twitter have taken this as, hey, the Patriots are cheating again. It means the Super Bowl's coming. I don't know if
it's not.
I don't know if that's it, but it's another interesting part of the resume for Bill Belichick. It likely means nothing because it's OTAs. It doesn't really matter. But Patriots are cheating again. Brent, how do you feel?
I got no problem with this one. Like, again, first of all, if you're not cheating, you're not trying anyway. But I really, this happens a lot. I will say this. If you go back to the Urban Meyer era, which was short, it had a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Right? There ended up being more issues than even we knew at the start. But it had a lot of issues. The Jags got dinged for this, too. It was like the violation of hours or whatever it ended up being, and they lost, I think, 1 or 2 or whatever. And here's the deal. Who cares? This is a big who cares. I mean, I guess the bank account and the check that Belichick's going to write, he probably cares the most because of that. Otherwise, this is the time of year where I think some of the OTAs get used to go have ice cream and watch movies.
Yeah.
So it's not a big deal at all. I do think it also, like, even when that Urban stuff was happening, and related to the Patriots where everybody says cheating. Like this just happens sometimes in the NFL. You violate the rules. What happens is somebody complains. Like the players complain and your player representative complains. And then they investigate it and you get busted. So it's more commonplace than it is like, holy cow, Patriots. But it does add, it adds a little more mud to the Belichick Patriots current state. Ever since post-Brady, it's been a weird, bumpy ride for the New England Patriots, which in many ways it's expected to be from a win-loss standpoint, but it's been a bumpier ride because I think, not in this case because of the OTAs, but Belichick, maybe his staff, maybe even their front office and everybody in charge has tried to maybe outsmart things. And is reaching at things or trying to chase. It feels like the Patriots are chasing. And for 2 decades, everybody was chasing the Patriots. And it looks like they're in such an uncomfortable spot to be the team that's chasing everybody or some people, like the Bills. And now everybody in the AFC East, because on paper, the bottom line is you're picking the Patriots last. There's nobody that...
There's no doubt. It's not even close.
In New England, you might pick the Patriots to beat... You could say that the Jets will disappoint or the Dolphins will disappoint, but...
It's a wide margin,
You want to put $100 on it? You're picking the Patriots last.
Yes. By 2-3 games or more.
And listen, that's an uncomfortable spot for this organization that hasn't been there like that in some 25 years now. So I don't think they're handling it well is my point. The adversity, the chase... So far, the Patriots haven't handled it. This really doesn't have as much to do with it, but it just adds to another bump in the road for Bill Belichick, which sooner or later it's going to be over for Belichick. Mm-hmm. Because if you got to go do some of the stuff that's happened over the last couple of years, don't you get to the point if you're Belichick, like, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Like, I'm going fishing.
I'm doing anything else.
Yeah. So that to me is what, again, this is an isolated incident. It just adds to the already interesting tale that is the post-Tom Brady New England Patriots.
I agree with that. We got more tweets. Take a break first, though. Get back on time.
Well, let's do it. We've been on time pretty good today.
We have. We've done a good job for me. At the top of the hour. Jimmy G conversation in the tweets as well that we have coming up. Mike Evans, thought on him as well. So plenty more football tweets to come, Brent. Also, Justin Lawrence, may remember we had him on the show about a year ago this time, working on a 1-2-3 scoreless inning for the Rockies right now.
He's really developing into a good pitcher in Major League Baseball.
Real nice season.
Former First Coast Buck.
First Coast Buck. You didn't think that news was coming right there, did you?
I didn't.
How about
Put
that?
me on the spot.
Educational program.
Brent Friends at ESPN 690. Football at 5 rolls on right after this. Overtime with Kuhrts and Middleton. 6 o'clock in the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. 6:50 coverage. 7:05 first pitch on a Thursday night. They are home. Get on down to the ball field. 121 Financial Ballpark or listen to the Shrimp. For your home for Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Baseball right here on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Breezy through this evening as clouds move in and a few showers late tonight. Temperatures dropping into the mid to upper 60s. It'll be a windy Friday and quite cool for this time of year with some on and off rain through the morning and early afternoon. Temperatures only topping out tomorrow between 70 and 75. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, proud to offer a huge selection of both lab-grown and natural diamonds at the lowest prices guaranteed.
Hey, this is Bruce.
And I'm Carrie.
We're the owners of Koala Insulation. It's a great time of year to invest in energy-efficient improvements to your home. With our competitive rates and new tax credits for insulation upgrades, you can get huge savings to improve your insulation today and see long-term savings every month going forward.
Give us a call and set up your free evaluation at 679-6282 or find us online at koalainsulation.com.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjax.com.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
There's a race going on inside your body, and sometimes the bad guys, otherwise known as arthritis, get there first. That's when the joint pain kicks in.
Your healing process is just too slow and just can't catch up, and it needs just a little bit of help from QC Kinetics.
That's Dr. Daniel Zuckerman, a QC Kinetics medical director.
We all know that you can heal yourself. If you get a cut, it heals on its own. Your joints are no different. We can take the healing properties from your blood, concentrate them down, and put them in the spot that you need the help. It's amazing. Your body can heal itself.
At QC Kinetics, that's called regenerative medicine. No surgery or steroids, just lasting relief, the natural way.
The fact that we can treat them without surgery, but using their own body's natural healing process, without medications, without steroids, without surgery, it's just amazing.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Hi, this is Earl Ron. New South makes windows that are both energy efficient and hurricane resistant. New South is the factory and eliminates the middleman. New South windows are made in Florida for Florida homes by Florida workers because we know Florida weather.
Going on now, save 35% off factory direct windows and doors. Call 1-800-NEW-WINDOWS.
A lot of new enrollments, huh? Braylon, Brayden.
Monique's daycare is crawling with new arrivals.
Hey, sweetie, are you hungry?
She needs more early childhood educators.
Did your sock slip off again?
And a nap.
Hey there, little guy. Okay. Shh. Whoa.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Nothing beats driving cross-country in our RV.
This is so much fun, Dad. I don't even need to look at my phone.
It's not the destination, it's the journey. Jinx!
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive and you could use the savings to make sure that RV is always ready to hit the road. Who knows, your teenager might actually put down her phone for 5 minutes. It could happen. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Kinetico softener and drinking water system. Kinetico's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. This month, you can get 50% off a Kinetico K5 drinking water system with a purchase of a Kinetico Premier Series softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Kinetico dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Imagine you're looking at a balancing scale with everything you do for other people on one side and everything you do for yourself on the other side. If it isn't balanced, maybe it's time to spend a little more time on you. And therapy is a great place to start. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist online who can help you find that balance and stick to it. Visit BetterHelp.com/score to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/score.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack. So they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Action Sports Jax. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jax. Watch, listen, subscribe. Feels like summertime, Memorial Day weekend. Anybody working tomorrow? What's the amount of percentages of the people that work tomorrow?
Low.
School's out today in St. Johns County.
Last day?
Last day.
Nice. What are the kids up to tomorrow?
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't adjusted to that, needing to know yet.
I didn't know if it had come up in conversation. When you're speaking to your children, I didn't know.
I haven't seen them today. That is true.
I believe you. Just interesting as all.
Hopefully playing some ball. Maybe some golf. I won't be, but maybe they will be.
Maybe some pickle.
Kaylee started playing a little golf.
Really? How's that going?
I mean, I think she just went like once or twice. But she used to, like, I was like, Kaylee, you should go play. And then we tried to get her out more and more, like when she was younger. Like, that ain't a bad swing.
It ain't a good swing.
A lot of scholarship money in golf.
That's real talk.
In women's golf, ton of scholarship money, unused. Couldn't do it. It's not too late. Let's make a late run.
It's literally not too late.
Let's make a late run.
My buddy got a golf scholarship, didn't even want it.
Really?
Yeah, it's real talk. Get this. Alvin put his business on the street. I won't name no names. It's not Christian Kirker, just to confirm.
Yeah, that guy gets a lot of mentions on this show.
He really does. It's not him. My boy was getting a baseball deal, and they were like, wait, never mind. We'll give you a golf deal, and then you can walk onto the baseball team. Like, you'll be on the team, but your scholarship's in golf. My boy was like, all right.
Really?
Yep. Real talk.
How about a quick little golf shout-out? Andrew Riley used to play at Creekside. Now he plays at Palm Beach Atlantic.
Okay.
Golf.
Sure.
Won the Division II National Championship yesterday. All right. That's pretty good.
That's literally very good.
You know, he was in 3 days, 12 under par.
That's pretty
good. You know how many good golfers there are?
Yeah.
So many good golfers. I tried to explain that to people. It's like, wow, your handicap's like an 8 or a 5 or like, yeah, it's good. Like it is. That's pretty good playing. But there's a million of you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like you got to figure that out. Like, even if you're a really good player, which, I mean, you shoot around par, like, that ain't good enough on a lot of things. Like, that's great. That's good playing, by the way. And you're going to beat me.
Yeah.
But it's not good enough. Like, if you think you shoot around par, you're like, oh, yeah, probably, like, really, really, really good. No, the really, 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 really good people, like, shoot 67, which is crazy.
It is.
Like, I don't know what that is in, like, bowling. Bowling, you're like, what's like a pretty good player in bowling? 200?
200.
Average 200?
Oh, yeah, 200. Easy.
So then it'd be like, yeah, but like, yeah, that's great. Tip of the cap. But like the really good ones, bowling like 260.
290.
290. People average 290?
I would think so.
Well,
like
that's
the
like
real
the
good ones?
No, that's like the pro. I'm not even talking about like
285.
Tiger and Rory and those guys.
285. 280 on a bad day.
That is an interest. Bowling's one that I don't really know what good is.
Why didn't bowling catch on more? That's the real question. It's inside. It's air conditioned. You just got to roll it. Like pickles outside.
Oh, it's going inside.
But currently it's out. Like, you got to move a lot in pickle. There's not a lot of moving in bowling. If you're really, really garbage, you can just put up the bumpers.
That's a good call. Like, what? Well,
what happened there?
So, because you would say, I feel like people have closed down bowling alleys more than
I
opened
just feel
them.
like nobody's bowling.
Yeah.
Like, even when I was in high school, like, the conversation was, hey, you going bowling later? Like, no. You know what I mean?
But bowling actually, like, even on TV, became kind of a fun thing to watch from time to time. Not like locked in fun, but you had the personalities, and it was
that guy
it was
Weber.
pretty good. Weber, right? I mean, that's who you think about.
Pete.
Well, maybe you just had one.
I think his name was Pete. Is that Stewart's dad? It's not, right?
No.
Okay.
Did cornhole replace bowling? Or
Yes.
sports like that became televised?
Cornhole did replace bowling. I'll give you that. I like cornhole.
Our buddy from Front Porch Kettle Corn opened an ice cream shop, by the way, out in McClenny.
Really?
It says bowling 220 to 230.
Is good?
That's what pros average. You want to get them to 290.
Pros are only averaging 230?
I can't believe that good pros are averaging 230.
Like, you're saying it's too low.
Yeah.
Yeah, them boys better be averaging a 290. Like, you're getting strikes every time, more times than not. Am I crazy? Or
yeah, I would think. But I mean, 290 is kind of high because you got to remember, like, that last strike is worth like 40 pins.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Or whatever it is. It's like it keeps accumulating.
260 then.
I would think, I mean, 230, maybe he's right. Maybe it's more. I thought it would be at least around 250. Is there any other sport that you don't know what good is?
I mean,
like not, without saying not like a real sport, but like darts. I don't know what good is.
I was going to say darts.
We'll call Weber for that. Phone a friend. Cricket?
No, I actually kind of understand that. What?
You do understand cricket?
Like, my dad watches cricket. I don't know. You see what I'm doing here? What is this?
I have no idea
Oh,
what
I
you're
didn't
doing.
spin the thing to you. It's like rowing.
Crew?
Like, you win. Somebody gonna win. But did they do it fast enough? I don't know.
I don't know what like a good time is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because even like track and field, you kind of know what like the world class times are in track and field. All right. We're totally off topic. I don't even know what topic was, but let's get some more tweets. Brent Friends on ESPN 690. We're all over the place as we head into this Memorial Day weekend. We got another day tomorrow. We might party hard tomorrow on the show.
We should.
What do you got for tweets?
1067 days. No, I'm just kidding. Tashawn Reed, who covers the Vegas Raiders for The Athletic.
Yeah, used to cover Florida State. We had him as a guest many a time here on ESPN 690.
Cool. I'm just hope I said his name right. Jimmy Garoppolo had foot surgery after signing with the Raiders in March, sources tell The Athletic. The quarterback's recovery timeline is unknown, but the sense is that the team's confident he will be ready to play the start of the season. I'm sure that's exactly what you don't want to hear.
Yeah. Jimmy G, I thought he wasn't getting traded for so long because of the shoulder.
And now it's the foot.
And now it's a foot? Like, did we know he had a foot problem?
I think we did. I didn't think we knew it was like this. The same foot that stepped out of the back of the end zone is now being operated on his new team, which is not good. Listen, if you're Devontae Adams in this scenario and Josh Jacobs and guys that were already a bit confused when Derek Carr was sent away, and now immediately it's something with Jimmy G.
Yeah.
And the one thing with Jimmy G, his team usually wins when he plays 4 quarters, but the rarity of him playing 4 quarters is a thing now.
Yeah, I just
he gets hurt every time.
I just put out there on Twitter, I said, what's the chances that he plays the season? Like, you'd bet against that.
Right, and they shipped their backup to, like, Denver, I think.
I was just looking. They got Jimmy Garoppolo. They add Brian Hoyer. But don't worry, they have Aiden O'Connell and Chase Garbers.
Aiden O'Connell's a Purdue guy, right?
On the depth chart. Yeah, he was drafted in the 4th round.
How about that? Good pull.
Chase Garbers.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
I mean, they're empty at quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy G, they expect to be ready.
Yes, but, like, it didn't sound super confident.
But the bigger story here with Jimmy G is, can you get him through the year?
I mean, look, when I hear the quarterback's recovery timeline is unknown, the team has, there's a sense of confidence he'll be ready for the regular season. Great. Unknown recovery time is not something I'm big on.
I wonder, like, they could become a candidate very quickly if the old guys that they counted on, like Chandler Jones, doesn't show up again. If Devontae Adams decides that he's going to complain and not play. If they don't have a quarterback because they got to go with Brian Hoyer. If Josh Jacobs isn't fully happy with his situation. He still hasn't signed the franchise tag, I don't believe. I mean, their tight ends are Austin Hooper, and they drafted Michael Mayer, and they've got O.J. Howard. It's like they're taking a kick in the tires on a couple of those guys, right?
After getting rid of Waller, yeah.
Like and Jacoby Myers, they spent money on, but I know you like him. But, I mean, do they get into the sweepstakes potentially for one of these top quarterbacks if Garoppolo gets injured? Or do they make a move for a quarterback?
No, I think I was thinking about this last night kind of crazily as I was driving back and forth from Daytona. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think we're going to see some kind of crazy stuff. Your team gets off to like a 3-4 gamer right off the rip. Shut it down. Jimmy G, if you're not fully healthy, let's just see what could happen here. Could we look into this? It happens. There's really bad teams, and then there's teams that luck into bad seasons, right? And I think Caleb Williams, Drake May, we're going to be talking about that more so Caleb Williams. So I think if they're out of it, now Devontae, you struggling a little bit? You got something going on? Let's bench you. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I paid him $28 million. Devontae Adams said today, according to Ari Miroff, he loves being with this organization, and speculation that he'd want out is stuff that we're taken out of context. Quote, I'm here to win a Super Bowl. If you guys are that bored, go play Monopoly or some bleep.
Ooh.
Devontae.
Boy, Monopoly takes
forever. Just play Monopoly, man.
It takes forever, boy. They even made it electric and people don't play it. By the way, if you're on the stream, you're like, why does he still have the tweet up? Jimmy G is a good-looking dude, bro. You see this picture? This is something.
Jimmy G has always had that going for him.
I mean, this is borderline unfair.
If they still did commercials for Isotoner gloves like Dan Marino did, Jimmy G would be the guy wearing them.
It's just unfair. I mean, that's why I was just leaving that up. I'm like, I just want everyone to understand kind of.
Yeah, it's hard to feel bad for Jimmy G.
You don't.
He's got plenty of opportunity coming up in life.
The dude is literally beautiful and rich. Like, I don't feel bad for Jimmy G at all. Another guy I don't feel bad for is Mike Evans, ML Football. And I stumbled upon this the other day. I was arguing with Brian about something that I was clearly right about. And ML Football saying, who also pays for Twitter, Bucs wide receiver Mike Evans is already a Hall of Famer at the age of 29 and is still one of the most underrated wideouts of all time. And the stats line up as a 4-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro year. Never at any point in time in his career from rookie year to now has Mike Evans had under 1,000 yards receiving in a year.
Pencil him in.
I mean, he's a Super Bowl champion, only player in NFL history with 9 straight seasons of 100 yards receiving. I mean, and we don't even talk about this guy, Brent. We just had the Devontae Adams list, and granted, he's only 29 years old, but this is perfect. He's forgotten.
Yeah, I think Mike Evans is a beast. And I think the reason why he didn't get as much love before was because of Brady and Gronk.
Mm-hmm.
So when they were, in the spotlight, those guys were stealing it. They were the headline guys. But Evans and Godwin and those guys are good players. So, but Evans is different level. I agree with that. I mean, those are when you can pencil a guy in for 1,000 yards every year. Yeah, I think he is on his way to the Hall of Fame. I don't know if he has to do a lot more. I don't know what else he has to do, but it certainly seems like he's headed that way. But it'll be a quiet one. He's not a loud, marquee player name. It doesn't seem you forget about him. If you do rattle off a list of wide receivers, you're like, oh, yeah, Mike, I got to put him in, right?
Oh, yeah, he's totally an afterthought.
Which is interesting in that position.
I mean, truly. I mean, he's questionable in fantasy because the Bucs fans would say, not in every scenario, but at times Mike Evans in the big moment disappears. A lot of empty yards. That's what the ones that don't like him will say. But, I mean, the stats are what they are. If you can just consistently be a 1,000-yard receiver, that's pretty goated. And also, you go back to early in his career, I mean, the years with Tom Brady, he was fantastic. 13 touchdown year, 14 touchdown year. But, I mean, before that, it was as inconsistent as it got at the quarterback position in Tampa. Jameis Winston did it a bit. Ryan Fitzpatrick was in there for a little bit. I mean, they've had a rough go of it before Brady got there. So to be quarterback proof as a rookie, 12 touchdowns, 1,000 yards as a rookie. I know he was a high pick. He had to do it. But 1,200, 1,300 yards. I mean, So underrated, it's crazy. It's criminal.
And it just also goes to, you can make a list of wide receivers, and it's long. I mean, it's just an amazing, the boon on wide receivers in the last, 7, 8 years, whatever it is. And we talk about this a bunch. Like we always say, hey, there's more good quarterbacks than ever before. Absolutely. Well, there's more good receivers than ever before. In fact, so much so that it used to have like one receiver. Now teams want 3 receivers. And I'm not saying just bodies. They want 3 borderline elite receivers and build it like kind of what the Jags are doing. Ridley, Kirk, Jones, Ingram. I mean, just keep rolling them out there. And there's enough depth to really do it. Maybe not across the board, but for a lot of these teams to be very well off. And we think a lot of that receiver, quarterback stuff is not only the passing game, but it's what's about to come in the summer for so many high schoolers and others. It's a 7-on-7 game. It's pitch and catch. Bigger, faster, stronger athletes, more specialization, attention, tutelage to the quarterback position. 7-on-7s. Add to it. Make good corners. Make good receivers. And I think we're seeing that in the NFL. So the list goes on, and you kind of forget about a guy like Mike Evans who really over the tenure of his career might have one of the most impressive resumes that currently exists in the NFL. Brent Friends on ESPN 690. We put a bow on the show. Kicker conversation on Overtime with Kuhrts and Middleton. I'm sure Matthew Wright's name will come up. Riley Patterson sure will. That's at 6 o'clock. Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp on deck after overtime. We'll be right back on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet. Now open in St. Augustine.
Hey, this is Bruce.
And I'm Carrie.
We're the owners of Koala Insulation. It's a great time of year to invest in energy-efficient improvements to your home. With our competitive rates and new tax credits for insulation upgrades, you can get huge savings to improve your insulation today and see long-term savings every month going forward.
Give us a call and set up your free evaluation at 679-6282 or find us online at koalainsulation.com.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
Jump in the iCryo chat chamber on Brent and Friends Daily on ESPN 690. Agree with Kasey. Disagree with me. Give Aaron a hard time about the Jets. Be a part of the iCryo chat chamber and check out iCryo in St. Johns County and at iCryo.com.
Rich Jones here. Investing can be more about just filling a bank account. It's about having a secure retirement, protecting your family. Let DLP Capital help you to protect your why. Here's CEO and founder Don Wenner.
I started DLP Capital with an expectation that I could provide my family, my investors, my team members, and the families of my investors with awesome returns, limited volatility, and no losses, all while providing desperately needed affordable housing to the American workforce.
To get your investor's guide and learn more, dial ** invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
The only thing better than a day at Jack's Beaches is driving there in a new ride. And now's the time, because it's the Summer Starts Here sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. That's over 350 premium pre-owned on the lot. All makes, all models, certified pre-owned. You name it, Arlington's got it. You even get 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it for one you do. But this sale won't last long, so don't wait. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
The Parkinson Support Group of Orange Park will be having a bingo fundraiser Saturday, June 10th, starting at 10 a.m. at Sacred Heart Church in Fleming Island. Funds raised will be used to fund local programs to help those with Parkinson's live a fulfilling life. For info, contact Greg, 808-313-0966.
It's fishing time, old school style. The Daily's Old School Kingfish Shootout, presented by Yellowfin, is June 10th in St. Augustine. Fishing fun for everyone. Big boats, small boats, and just a $250 entry fee if you register early by May 31st. The catch for the Old School Kingfish Shootout, limited boundaries. Fernandina Beach to Daytona Beach, but only 3 miles offshore. OldSchoolKingfish.com to register and do it early by May 31st. Get your chance to win over $200,000 in prizes. Fishing fun for everyone, June 10th in St. Augustine. OldSchoolKingfish.com.
This time of year brings constant rain and those pesky storm-chasing roofers knocking on your door with scripted sales pitches. Jack Wilson Roofing Company didn't become the first name in Jacksonville roofing with invasive sales tactics. Instead, they offer a low-pressure approach, free and transparent estimates, exceptional craftsmanship, and they get every job right the first time. That's why Jack Wilson Roofing Company is the first name in Jacksonville roofing. Request a free estimate at jacksewilsonroofing.com. That's jacksewilsonroofing.com.
Maytag month has got it going on. It's all you want with the savings all month long. Baby, can't you see? Maytag month is all you need. You know you can't go wrong when Maytag month is going on.
Upgrade to the performance you need on all Maytag major appliances during May is Maytag month, happening all month long.
Maytag month is going on.
You could throw your flip-flop at a bug.
Ew, a bug, get it.
But the chances of actually hitting it
over there
are statistically,
it's still alive.
Unlikely. Good thing nature's got your back. Stem bug killers combine powerful active ingredients found in plants, like lemongrass and geraniol, and scientifically engineer them into effective bug-fighting formulas, safe for use as directed around people, pets, and throughout the home. Stem. Rooted in nature, optimized by science.
Stay with ESPN 690 for your chance to see and hear our special events in the Farah and Farah Performance Studio throughout 2023. Powered by Farah and Farah and ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Well, here's the deal. Reviews are starting to roll in on my officiating last night.
How did we not get to this before now? A lot of kicker stuff, I guess.
I just got this from Ed Williamson on Twitter. And he says, and this is maybe the most important part, Mr. LJ.
Line judge?
Yeah.
Nice.
I got an official title. That's called the wing in the officiating profession.
Sure it is.
Mr. LJ, it was a pleasure to be on the field opposite you on the line of scrimmage for your first game officiating high school football last night. You did an awesome job. Your mechanics are sound. Come back anytime you want. Looks like a good review, baby.
Yep. Listen, I saw you in action, right? We're closing down shop last night, calling it a day here at the ESPN 690 studios, turning off the stream, and the live view was up and running. And there was Brent.
Oh, yeah. Is that how you saw? I was wondering how you saw.
Yeah. He was reffing, my guy.
I was, man. I got thrown into the fire.
Now, the best part was, I don't know who was closest to you on your side, but there was a play that looked like pop for a pretty big gain. And there goes Marty running down the sidelines. And your cameraman, I'm hoping it was not Marcel Robinson, because, boy, that would be embarrassing.
It was Olivia.
Oh, she lost you.
Did she?
I mean, you took off, and she tried to take off with you.
I outran Olivia.
And then, it was just, listen, I would have done worse, just to confirm. But I was like, you outran him.
Yeah, I mean, I got a little faster as I kept going, as I got more comfortable. Because here's the deal. When you don't know what's going on, it's like anything, right? It's like doing this job, doing your job, doing any job. When you don't really know what's going on and you're thinking, you're like,
how am I going to goof this up?
Yeah, you're very, tentative. Well, that's not a job that you can be tentative. You got to sell it. You got to be demonstrative. And so as it went along, the funniest part.
There's old Marty, if you're watching the stream.
Was I didn't blow. So I'm trying to figure all this stuff out, right? And I didn't, there were so many different things. They were explaining to Sam and everybody. The crew was great. But, I'm asking questions. I'm like, I get some of it, and then I'm not getting it. And I actually asked him one time, I was like, how long did it take you to understand all this stuff and not think about it? It's like 2 years. I was like, okay, well, I don't feel that bad then.
Yeah.
But I kept forgetting to get the ball. Part of my job from that side was to get the ball once it goes incomplete or something elsewhere. And I just wasn't in that frame of mind. But luckily I had two officials behind me. They got the ball every time. I never did it though. I never fully got that part. And it seems so easy, but I never did because I was so locked in on everything else. And I was locked in now.
You were.
For about 2 hours, I was locked in. I was at the very least in character.
Listen, when there was a turnover, when you were spotting the ball that I sent you the picture of, Let me tell you, you were getting that spot, my guy.
Yeah.
You stood there for a very long time. You're like, it's right here. I got the spot.
So the funniest part was, we are videoing this and I'm mic'd up. And the first time I blow the whistle, it's not like you practice blowing the whistle.
You goofed up the whistle?
Oh, it was like the worst blow of the whistle ever. It was like so faint. And the guy's like, yeah, you got to really blow the whistle. I was like, all right. But it was so bad. I'm sure we'll play it on TV at some point or social. But it was like, shh.
Brutal.
There were some bad moments out there for me, but overall, it was a pretty awesome experience. There's a lot going on, man. That is a different vantage point to watch a game. You do get an appreciation for it. Next up, baseball. So I'll stop yelling at umpires.
There you go. Good for you.
Or softball. All right, overtime with Kuhrts from Middleton coming up next. If you did miss the big story of the day, Riley Patterson waived but then traded to the Detroit Lions.
We got it.
Brandon McManus picked up. The count is on. Jags get a pick in 2026, 7th rounder. That's 1,067 days away.
10:66 tomorrow, boys.
The hours are dwindling, and the countdown continues on Overtime with Kuhrts and Middleton next on ESPN 690.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
Live life to the fullest. You hear that all the time, but it's easier said than done when you're in pain, right? Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. QC Kinetics is in the business of giving people back their quality of life and providing much-needed relief from chronic joint pain. And not just providing that relief, but doing it in the most non-invasive way possible using regenerative treatments from your body's own natural biologics. Where's your joint pain? In your knees, hips, shoulders, or back? Well, QC Kinetics concentrates these impactful treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying healing properties where you need them most. And best of all, you walk into the office and walk right out after treatment. No surgery, no downtime, and patients are raving about the results. So what does living life to the fullest look like for you? Finally being able to play golf, hike, walk your dog, enjoy time with your family, whatever it is, don't wait one more day. Get started today. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation, 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522. They're in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra, 904-274-5522.
As America's largest injury firm, we have advantages few others do. Our results and reputation are well known to the other side, and we have a track record of going toe-to-toe with them and winning big. But what does that mean for you? What does that mean for your case? I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One of the things we're most proud about is that we set up our firm so that your case gets lots of attention from a lot of people. Our technology and army of lawyers give us insight and oversight into every detail and every moment of your case. Paralegals, legal assistants, investigators, buildings with boxes of evidence. Every resource carefully designed to get you the most possible. And at Morgan & Morgan, we even have a dedicated team to make sure that your calls are returned that very same day. Injured? Dial pound law. That's pound 529. All law firms are not the same. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.
Injured? Visit ForThePeople.com for an office near you.
Right now, American Window Products is offering the newest features in window technology with Ultra Dual Low E glass and insulated vinyl frames with magnet weather stripping on windows for an airtight seal to help reduce your energy usage, all at an affordable price. This exclusive offer is for a limited time, so act now to save big with 12 months zero interest financing. Schedule a free estimate at AmericanWindowProducts.com. American Window Products, the window professionals. Financing at time of sale for new orders only.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, buy a select Metabo HPT cordless nailer and get a 36-volt 2.5 amp-hour battery free, a $139.99 value. And as a Lowe's MVP, buy select Owens Corning shingles and earn 2 times the bonus points per dollar. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 5/11 through 7/12. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. U.S. only. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 6/1. Subject to change.
A lot of new enrollments, huh? Braylon, Brayden...
Monique's daycare is
Brody.
crawling with new arrivals.
Hey, sweetie, are you hungry?
She needs more early childhood educators.
Did your sock slip off again?
And a nap.
Hey there, little guy. Okay. Shh. Whoa.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Nothing beats driving cross-country in our RV.
This is so much fun, Dad. I don't even need to look at my phone.
It's not the destination, it's the journey. Jinx!
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive and you could use the savings to make sure that RV is always ready to hit the road. Who knows, your teenager might actually put down her phone for 5 minutes. It could happen. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Well. What a day it's been, huh? What a day in Jacksonville when you can do a 3-hour radio program and spend 2.5 of those hours talking kicker and kicker movement and kicker releases. And now, in what will be roughly a 45-minute radio program with Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp Baseball on deck, we talk more about the kicker. Overtime with Kuhrts and Middleton. ESPN 690. Kasey Kuhrts, Brian Middleton will be along in just a second. He left his headphones in the other room. That's okay. We start without him. Riley Patterson. The man Brian Middleton called the most consistent kicker in Jacksonville Jaguars history. Falsely. It is not true. He's here. He doesn't have his mic on. It's not true. Riley Patterson is no longer a member of the Jags, but a member of the Detroit Lions. That is the second part of the story that we will talk about. But the first part is the fact that he's no longer here. This morning we saw Riley Patterson waived from the Jacksonville Jaguars, or so we thought to be waived, for Brandon McManus. And I tell you what, Jags Twitter, I saw a lot of interesting takes, but I saw a lot of people split. Some people saying they got better. Some people saying, yeah, I get this. It makes sense. Some people saying, how could you cut Riley Patterson who made the kick? Everybody has an opinion, and I respect that. Turn your mic on if you want to talk, by the way. Everybody has an opinion. I respect it. I have an opinion. Brian has an opinion, and guess what? We don't agree. Shocker. The Jags got better today, folks. Riley Patterson made one of the biggest kicks in the history of the franchise. One of the best moments of the NFL season overall. Clearly the best Jags moment of the season. The Jags got better today. All right? Brandon McManus will join the team from the Broncos.
Sounds like hope to me.
Hey, Brian. Thanks for turning your mic on, my guy.
Is that hope?
It's not hope.
That's not hope.
It's
okay.
stone.
How do you negotiate that?
No problem, buddy.
Yeah.
It's stone cold evidence over a career that Brandon McManus has been a better player than Riley Patterson. That's how. If you must know.
Stone cold.
Stone cold evidence. Yes.
All right, man. You know,
Riley Patterson last year had a nice season. Statistically, a better season than Brandon McManus.
How else do you want to measure that? I like the way he says statistically, like if you want to use statistics, if you want to use stats and numbers.
But here's why Brandon McManus had a worse season. Riley Patterson was only trotted out there 3 times from 50+. Brandon McManus was trotted out there 13 times.
Oh, that's because their coach wasn't as good as our coach.
13 times more.
if Doug Peterson was the head coach of the Denver Broncos, he wouldn't have been trotted out there 13 times. He would have been trotted out there probably about 4 or 5, maybe a couple more times more since he's been in the league and he's so established. But, you know, you forget that little ditty of a fact as well.
I don't forget it because early in the season, they went for it on every fourth down they could find because they didn't trust the kicker.
Or
they didn't trust the kicker.
Right. You said that. But or
they didn't trust the kicker.
Okay. There we go. When you're trying to make your point so much to where you can't be reasonable with multiple potential reasons.
What you got?
Or it was Doug in his grand master plan of like, hey, guys, understand big situations, get used to it, get comfortable in it, because I got a feeling with the way that we do slow starts around here that we're going to need to have that kind of even-headedness, even-keeled approach in the playoffs, which worked out greatly, by the way.
It did.
So that could be another reason, on top of the fact that they were a bit iffy on the most consistent kicker in Jaguars history.
Who was cut today.
Yeah, you know, smile in your face.
Actually, I shouldn't say he was cut because there's a second part to the story. We'll get there in a second.
Yeah.
But just more on this situation and why it might have actually happened. Riley Patterson, touchback percentage of 50%. Brandon McManus, 69.9, 70% of the time. That's a thing. Listen, we argued about it last year with Matthew Wright. It's a thing. The touchback percentage is a thing. The truth of the matter is Brandon McManus, as a veteran, it actually doesn't even matter that he's a veteran, he has a bigger leg than Riley Patterson. That's what they've done today.
Who did he get replaced by? Did we follow up with Denver to see who?
We did not follow up with Denver.
Okay.
We will do that. But
we'll
now,
do that.
there is that part of the story, right? If you're bringing a guy in, it's because somebody got cut. Brandon McManus was told he wasn't good enough by the Denver Broncos after being there for like 8 years. All right? So that did happen. They hired a fired guy. But that's kind of how kicking goes, right? Everybody's getting fired from somewhere. It's
Didn't have to be that way, though.
It did not have to be that way, which is why it's surprising. If you would have told me we were going to have 20 arguments on the radio today about the Jaguars, what would they be? I would have kicker at dead last. The emotional attachment we have to Riley Patterson, the moment he delivered, the way that they've constructed this team in the run-it-back nature that they're going to do, and they're going to run it back without the folk hero that made the kick to win the biggest comeback of all time. By the way, currently, according to ESPN, the Broncos don't have a kicker. So, like, that can't be right, but...
So nothing's better than...
They're like, we'd rather not have one.
That's wild. That's wild, Denver. Do you, though? Do you? Hey, man, listen. I would be remiss, or I would be an even bigger hypocrite, which I'm totally fine with, by the way. If you've been listening to Overtime over the past year and a half, I'm fine with being a hypocrite and going back on my word. But I'm trying to be better. And
good.
I would be...
That's good for you.
I would be remiss if I didn't continue on with my principles. And so far, the past couple of weeks, whether it be free agency or the draft, I ultimately come out on the other side of, regardless of what the decision is that has been made or hasn't been made, is that Doug and Trent have built up enough currency with me and a lot of Jacksonville, I do believe, to make some decisions that I won't say would be unpopular, but you just be like, huh, you know? And this was more like a what, but I feel like it falls under the huh category. And then ultimately, whether I would have done it or not is, insignificant because I'm not in that position. But more importantly, what that team looked like last year, going down the stretch into the playoffs, and how it is seemingly coming together, I think you just got to ride out with it. I mean, you have to ride out with it. It's not like you can change anything. You're not the GM, the coach, the owner if you're a Jags fan. But I just mean, like, emotionally, you kind of just have to settle down and be like, okay, these guys have brought us a winning season, a division title, and if they say that this is the move that we need to do that's going to move the needle a little closer to getting to a Super Bowl, holding up that Lombardi trophy, Kasey, then we'll go with it. But, first 50-plus yard miss, I'm going to look over at you and be like, all right now. Okay, calm down now.
You mentioned getting closer to holding up a Super Bowl trophy. Brandon McManus has done that.
I know it well.
Championship pedigree.
Yeah, Carolina
you do know it
was a
well.
struggle.
Yeah.
It was a struggle watching that. Yeah.
But what you just said there is fascinating and true. We went from an organization, a regime in which we didn't trust a word out of the head coach's mouth. Not one. Other than when he said, I don't know who Aaron Donald is. We believe that. We're like, yeah, actually, of course you don't, you moron. But we've gone from that to this is somewhat confusing, but okay. Yeah, Doug, he's got it under control. It's wild. It's true, but it's wild. I agree with you that I do trust Doug Peterson, that if he thinks this is the right move, then I will, okay, it's the right move.
Leaving the name off there, man.
I am. Still skeptical. I agree with Doug Peterson. That's how I see it. I trust Doug Peterson. I trust the special team staff. I trust the team that Doug Peterson has put in place. But this is certainly a move. Again, I agree with it. I think they made the right move today.
What does Trent Baalke have to do? Because let me just lay out his resume just a little bit.
Please.
I get it. Trevor was do you give anybody credit for Trevor? I know you don't, but I'm just like, you still got to make the pick.
No, you don't.
So it falls under, you're going to send Urban Meyer a thank you card at some point, but that's okay.
Nobody's getting a thank you card for Trevor outside of Frank Gore.
Under his resume.
Outside of Frank Gore, who scored the touchdown.
Great job, and maybe the Jets as a whole. But ETN and Tyson Campbell.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would put those on Urban Meyer.
But now, hold on now. Now, anything that you can do in order to not give Trent Baalke credit.
No,
anyway,
that's real
let me
life.
keep going. Let me keep going real quick.
Uh-huh.
The James Robinson thing did not go over well in the overtime studios and a lot of Jacksonville.
It was the right move.
It was the right move. It was the right move.
No.
Everybody in the league could have made this Calvin Ridley deal, give or take. I don't know people's salary cap and what how they're breaking it down.
Sure.
But theoretically, every team could have made this move. Trent Baalke got it done.
He did.
So, you start looking at some of the big moves for players that are actually going to be making.
You left off like two major things that happened, and it was the other two drafts. You left those out.
Well, I'll let you jump on it because I'm on.
Must have been coincidence.
No. It's like you got a certain track. You're so ready to poo on Trent Baalke that you keep the hate at the top of your brain with list of things that he has done that has been less than stellar. I choose to uplift and only criticize when necessary.
That's where you're wrong, my guy.
Okay, but you can't deny the names that I've named so far and some of the moves that I've done so far. Regardless of what you're about to name, I feel like the positives have outweighed the negatives. And so, again, this kind of gives Trent more leeway, I think, with the Jacksonville faithful for the most part. Of course, we're sitting on here on mics, and it's kind of our jobs to a certain degree to be a bit critical and kind of voice the concerns of what we think people may be thinking or ourselves, just in general, which is fine. But he can point at enough moves and be like, just trust me, because nobody's perfect. Nobody gets them all right, but I've gotten more right than I've gotten wrong here in Jacksonville, and we are trending in the right direction. If it doesn't go right, kill me. Well, no, don't kill me. You know what I'm trying to say? Roast me. Don't kill me. But yeah, that's the way that I'm looking at this right now, Kasey. Now, what are the moves that I've got on?
Listen, the jury is so far out on Trent Baalke. You can say what you want. The jury is nowhere near making decisions.
Okay, that's fine. You've made a decision, though.
I have a thought in my head and an opinion that I hold.
My bad.
But that opinion will not be locked in stone and will not be, I guess, proven correct until we know what happens with these last couple of draft classes. Yes, the draft class that you cited is a great example because a lot of great players came out of that draft class. The other two, the most recent one and the year before, we still have a lot of questions that need to be answered. Actually, a lot of the questions that the Jags have and what might hold them back are those positions. We talk edge rusher. We have a lot of questions. We talk corner. They didn't address it, but had the opportunity to and said they got an offensive lineman, right? So the jury is very far out on what the results will be of that class. So, yes, there have been good moves made that you just documented. I think this is a good move they made today. But this in no way, shape, or form adds any leash to anything. I don't believe.
No. Yeah, I wasn't saying that right. With all those words, I wasn't clear in my communication. I don't think that this move is a move where you're just like, well, all right. I mean, some people may be like that, but I don't think it's one where Trent's like, now, you know what I mean? I just pulled off another Calvin Ridley Part 2 type deal with this right here. No. I'm saying because of a lot of the moves that are positive for the Jags that we can look at right now, regardless if you still have questions about the move because you need to see some more from those particular players, that's why a waiving of a Riley Patterson, though a bit confusing, you're like, okay, all right, we'll rock with it. We'll rock with it, and we're not going to give you a bunch of flack about it. Yeah, we'll shout out to Riley Patterson and be like, yo, we miss you, dog. Yo, I'm glad that you got linked up with a new team. You're going to be great. Because Riley Patterson's like, what, 14? Golly, he's got a long career ahead of him. I think he's only going to get better. But, just Trent Baalke, I think he's in a space where he can pull this move right here. And one more thing, Kasey, as I throw it back to you, we said this before we got on air. This isn't just Trent. Doug green lights it.
Sure.
And, we kind of had a bit of a difference of perspective on whether or not Shad green lights each particular player. But Shad Khan gets a notification. He gets an email, something on his phone, an assistant tells him, hey, listen, this is what we're doing right here. And he has to be like, yeah.
He's like, cool, because I don't know who Brandon McManus is and I don't care.
And this just isn't on Trent Baalke, even though he's the GM. It's all three of these guys. And if they say, yeah, then listen, we 9-8. We defended AFC South champs. Let's go.
They got better today. Alex doesn't think so in the iCryo chat chamber.
There you go, Alex.
Riley Patterson's leg will only get stronger. He's only 23 and made over 50-yard kicks, so he's capable of it. Irfan in the chat replying says, I hear you, Alex. He could get better, but personally felt like Riley was going to miss every field goal. He barely made the one against the Chargers.
Oh. Come on, young Irf. Come on, man.
Now, that's a conversation we had earlier, and I can't even ask you because you're ridiculous with your take, and I won't even entertain it.
No. Bring it up right now. Come on.
No, because I won't entertain you because what you're going to say is, the question was, did you really, honestly, at any point in the season, feel confident he was going to make the kicks? I'm not talking about exactly, but you're the only one answering the question that way.
What? But
maybe Alex.
But this isn't. But hold on. This isn't because of Riley Patterson. This is because of the issues with Jags kickers that we've had in recent history.
Maybe
you're trying to put the Riley Patterson was so iffy. Like, no, that's not it. It's because you're traumatized, Jags fans, with the kicking situation that we've had until you got Riley Patterson. Until Patterson actually showed that he can make more than he misses, and that he can hit some big kicks, you were just like, I don't go for it on fourth down every time. I'm glad we got a coach that does that. So, like, nah, that's not on Riley Patterson. That's the trauma from past kickers, in my personal opinion.
It's actually not a bad call by you, but there is still a part of it that it was Riley Patterson. Like, the Jags kicker part of it was a thing.
Yeah, you're right.
But, like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you at any point I was like, oh, they're definitely making this kick. It's 27-17 now. Like, I never was in that mindset. I now that you say it, a lot of that is because of they couldn't find a kicker for 3 years. All right? I will agree with you there. But, like, what did I have to go off of? He made kicks last week? Like, there was nothing there, Brian. He was good. He made big kicks for them at times. He missed big kicks for them at times. But the biggest ones, to his credit, the kick against the Chargers and the kick against Dallas that sent them into overtime. He nailed them both.
Let me ask you this.
Please.
Right. Let me ask you this. Why were you so grumpy when Matthew Wright was no longer here on the Jags? Why were you so grumpy?
I thought he was the best option. I thought he had done enough to keep his job.
Good stuff, man.
Dude,
that's solid right there. I love that response.
There is
good enough to keep his job.
There is no doubt about it that Riley Patterson is good enough to keep his job. But when I was arguing for Matthew Wright to keep his job, they were a 3-win team. Right?
Yeah.
They're not a 3-win team anymore.
No.
We think they're an 11-win team. 10-win team. Some might say 12 or 13. I think they're an 11-win team. The expectations have changed.
I told you I saw somebody had them at 14? 14 and
People
3?
are
I was
just
like,
out of
woof.
their mind.
I was like, holy smokes. Okay, go ahead, though.
So the appeal to get a veteran kicker who gives you 20% more touchbacks, which is something you're into, a man that has won a Super Bowl and has made big kicks and has a big-time leg. There is appeal there because if you win one more game because of this move, it was worth it. They are foregoing possibly developing a kicker, as dumb as that sounds, to get the established kicker who is not going to be here for, 4 or 5 years. That's what they've done today.
Because the argument is you can find a kicker much like how running backs are kind of viewed now. Not that they're
You're
the
saying
same level.
for the future?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I mean, they'll find somebody.
But if we're the Jags, that should be the opposite. We should be like, no, you can't just find a kicker. I know you feel like that, but we just got one. So now we let him go. We got this guy on a 1 year. He kicks it through steel, apparently. And he's going to be good. Hey, listen, he's a Jag now. I need him to be great. I'm going to be bigger up than him every week. If it goes left for any period of time.
It will be monitored very highly. There's no doubt about it by the fan base. There's no doubt. All the problems they've had at the position, there's no doubt. And, we're all emotionally attached to Riley Patterson. We are.
Yeah, that's probably true.
He's a Jags legend.
I'm probably there.
We are all unbelievably attached. And he got cut today. It was weird. We all felt blindsided. Nobody saw it coming. It kind of sucked for a minute. It did. Right? Some people are still feeling it. Remember me with Matthew Wright? I was feeling it for weeks. All right? I've been there. I've been depressed over them cutting a kicker. All right? I'm not going to make fun of you. I've been there. It was weird. But it happened.
But Jags Twitter was pure entertainment. That thank you post to Riley Patterson that the Jags put out.
Yep.
Did you read any of the commentary?
Not too much. I saw Mike Florio tweet some stupid stuff, and then I moved on.
Oh, boy. People were getting busy in the comments. Some creativity, but.
So we bid adieu.
And Kasey, the first time that this guy comes in and he bangs one out from 58.
It'll be fine.
We'll be like, you know what?
We'll move on.
It'll be the same James Robinson type deal.
Now, I tell you this.
We like him, but
he's got to make the first one.
He'll make the first one. I'm confident in the new most consistent kicker in Jaguars history.
There we go. That's what I was looking
just
for.
that quickly.
Yep.
Let's go.
Brandon McManus is your kicker. The second part of this is this. At 10 this morning, we believed Riley Patterson was getting waived. No. The Detroit Lions, if you haven't seen this yet. The team, by the way, just to follow the soap opera, Riley Patterson was cut last year by the Detroit Lions. He was then picked up by the Jags, kicked the whole season, and has now been traded to the Detroit Lions. Yes, the Detroit Lions, instead of the paperwork getting filed for him to be waived, they said, we would like to trade for the man we cut 365 ago. And the Jags completed that trade. And at first, it was a late-round pick, we heard. Undisclosed late-round pick. But then, we were told that the pick they will acquire from Riley Patterson is a 7th-round conditional pick in 2026. Folks, they will wait 1,067 days before they make this pick. We are projecting the 7th round of the NFL draft, which, by the way, has not been locked into a location yet. The 7th round of the 2026 draft, it feels like will be on April 25th by all projectable measurements that we have.
Wow. Do some research.
I did. That is 1,067 days away. That pick, if he ever plays for the Jaguars, will probably open his Jaguars career at Daytona International Speedway, the baseball grounds, UNF.
Not here.
Orlando, Wembley Stadium. I don't know. This pick, the conditional 7th round pick that the Jags will make in 1,067 days, may have an entire Jaguars career of multiple seasons and never play at the bank. Ain't that something?
Why you said Wembley Stadium?
Because it could be.
It's
Ain't
an
that
option.
something?
You're right.
Ain't that something? A 2020. Is this Madden? Is this Madden?
Hey, speaking of Wembley, though, did you catch the comment from Goodell?
A 2026 seventh round pick. Are you kidding me? No. What did Goodell say about Wembley?
Not Wembley in particular, but it was a couple of weeks ago where he was like, you know what? 3 straight London games.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
You never think it's going to happen.
We're 10 years out from it.
Oh, man, you be confident about your takes. 10 years.
7 to 10. How many years did it take to get 2 games back-to-back? They've been playing in London a long time, about 10 years.
Things accelerate at a faster pace once you start working things out.
They do, but you have to test. They're going to test it this year. Then they're going to test it again.
They ain't waiting no 10 years to do 3 straight London
7
games.
to 10. 7 to 10.
They're not waiting 7. I'll give you 5.
You want to make a bet? I started with 5 and talked myself into 7.
Yeah, 5 at most. 5 at most.
7 at the least.
No way 2030 is when they're like, hey, you know what? We've been doing 2 for a while. Let's do 3 in a row. No way.
2030 at the earliest.
And the Jags, you will be a part of that.
And by the way, in
2030,
2030, the draft pick they make that they acquired today will still be on their rookie deal.
You're hot about this. You got something back. You got a better kicker,
didn't.
allegedly.
You did not get anything back.
Allegedly, you got a better kicker.
Absolutely
and
did not get anything back.
You're still upset. Look at you.
A conditional 7th in 26? In 26, Brian.
What's the conditions?
Do we even, that's a great question. Do we even know, anything in 2026?
Man, Riley Patterson.
The person is in high school right now that they're going to pick.
Yeah? Maybe.
Yes, trust me.
Yeah, you did the research, so I'm just going to trust you on this. Hey, but Kasey, Riley Patterson going up there to,
or I guess just graduated high school.
Shore up that Detroit offense, just in case they ever do stall out.
And actually, that's why I hate this.
What?
Riley Patterson thought he's getting waived, so he was going to go have a pick of his teams. Now they trade him for literally nothing to a team that cut him. I'm sure he wasn't going to pick the Lions. You know what I mean?
Right.
He could have had any other options, but now they force him to go to the Lions. I kind of hate it for him. Still like Riley Patterson. Emotionally attached. I just told you. We are 1,067 days away from knowing who Riley Patterson's draft pick will be.
Start the countdown.
Oh, we will. We'll have a countdown on the screen for the rest of the time at ESPN 690. Will ESPN 690 make it until this pick is made? Yes or no?
Kasey Kuhrts will be in a bigger market before that pick is made, and I'll make sure to reach out and be like, hey, can you call back in?
I will certainly call. Also, I've projected that this will be the most traded pick in the history of the NFL draft.
Wow, this is just a lot of prognosticating on your part.
This pick will change hands 8 times. Easily. Riley Patterson. Thank you for your time. One final time for Riley Patterson, huh? Why aren't you clapping?
I've shown my love to Riley Patterson, but he's a Detroit Lion now.
Thank you, Riley. Brandon McManus, come on down. Welcome to Jacksonville. We need you to be good. There are really no options for you
Santoso.
to be bad.
Brian Santoso.
Oh, gee. Not Santoso. Overtime with Kuhrts and Middleton. ESPN 690. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. Coming up in about 20 minutes' time. We still have more show to do. Maybe kicker talk, maybe not. I don't know. Find out next.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Breezy through this evening as clouds move in and a few showers late tonight. Temperatures dropping into the mid to upper 60s. It'll be a windy Friday and quite cool for this time of year with some on and off rain through the morning and early afternoon. Temperatures only topping out tomorrow between 70 and 75. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Proud to offer a huge selection of both lab-grown and natural diamonds at the lowest prices guaranteed.
Got my beach towel? Check. My beach chair? Check. And I'm in luck because the Summer Starts Here sales event is going on now at Arlington Toyota. Now's the time to get hot deals on even hotter Toyotas. Even better, Arlington's got over 300 new Toyotas available. And with every new Toyota purchase at Arlington, you get Arlington's lifetime warranty. That's unlimited time and miles. I think this is going to be your best summer yet. Shop the Summer Starts Here sales event at Arlington Toyota today. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Sell your home fast with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our offers are the strongest in the industry, so you can sell your home stress-free, make the most money, and move when you're ready. Don't worry about the hassle of constant cleaning and making costly repairs. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Certain restrictions apply.
On average, an artificial limb for a child starts at $5,000, and the first prosthetic for an adult can cost up to $50,000, making it nearly impossible for disabled children or veterans to afford the limb they need. At Life Giving Limbs, we cover the cost of these prosthetics, giving recipients a chance at receiving a new limb and a new start on life. Please help by donating now. Visit lifegivinglimbs.com or call 469-601-8523.
Men, are you suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? The medical providers at Prime Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pills or surgery. 98% of men see instant results on their first office visit. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Men are even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
But that's not all. For a limited time only, call Prime Men's Medical Center now, and your initial consultation and first treatment with our medical providers are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 904-206-7930. 904-206-7930. That's 904-206-7930.
I can't wait for what's next, even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Apixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing and me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is everyday.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine. With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
We are 1,067 days away from the Riley Patterson pick, and this is Overtime with Kuhrts and Middleton, ESPN 690. You know, we had the USS Orlick commercial. Do you remember that?
Yo, hello, Jacksonville.
Hello, Jacksonville.
That's my jam.
Yeah.
That's my jam, dog. That's my jam.
That was a great spot. But now,
there's a new one.
I just heard you singing it because I was singing it too, whatever the last one was. Sky Rizzy?
Yeah.
I heard you getting into it a little bit.
Yeah. That's
It's
not
not-
Orlick.
No, I know. I'm saying that's the new.
Oh, that's the new
jam.
Orlick. I got you.
Yeah, it's the new Orlick.
I'm
It
just
doesn't,
going,
you know.
And it ain't banging like
It's not.
the Jacksonville's where I need to be.
Yeah, it's not. But it's all right.
Now, high note. Oh, man, I got to go find that. I got to find that spot and pull it before they erase it out. So I can just listen
roll
to it
on
randomly.
Yeah, so you have it. We should just have it.
Boy.
Maybe they'll make the conditional 7th round pick on the Orlick. Who knows?
Look at that.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball coming up in just a couple of minutes. We'll do some for your defense. A couple of things that I have seen today outside of the kicker talk that I think are worth a note. LeBron James, if you didn't see this I believe came out during the show or a little bit before. It was on the Pat McAfee show, actually, from Shams, who broke the news. LeBron James played the last few months of the season with a torn tendon in his foot.
It's what GOATs do, man. It's just what GOATs do.
It's just that easy, huh?
You know what I mean? All the slander, all the negative talk, all he does is become the all-time leading scorer on one foot. That's what GOATs do. Patrick Mahomes, 1 foot, 1 ankle.
That's true.
It's what I do.
That is very true.
You know what I'm saying? So, listen, not surprising. We knew LeBron is older, right? But he keeps himself in pristine condition. And you could tell he didn't have the lift that he normally has had, even at the beginning of this current season. So when that happened right after he had broken that record, Kasey, and you could tell there were certain times when he would go to the bench and he would just take his shoes off and he was getting worked on. Never saw anything like that before, but it didn't seem out of the ordinary, except it's LeBron. So you could just tell that something was bugging him, and he's not going to bring that up. I'm glad that the news leaked so that y'all can leave the GOAT alone. Leave him alone.
Okay.
There you go.
Also, about the Jumbo Shrimp, but I do want to pass this along if you haven't seen it yet and you potentially are listening to the show and you are active duty retired veterans, former military members, and their dependents, free tickets to the game tonight.
Love that.
So, it's a really cool thing, Military Appreciation Night. It's also Thirsty Thursday.
All right.
But again, if you are military, active duty, retired veterans, former military dependents, free tickets to the Jumbo Shrimp game tonight. So shout out to the Shrimp for doing that. If you are not former military or current military, tickets are about $5. So also cheap. It's Thirsty Thursday. And if you're not going, you can listen, obviously, right here on ESPN 690. Mike R. does not agree with something you said about LeBron James.
I see it. Big Cap, La Cap, La Hater, a.k.a. Mike. We love you, though. Thanks for chatting.
Thanks, Mike. We appreciate you. And if you want to argue about LeBron, you can do it anytime. Brian Middleton's open for the conversation.
For whatever.
Let's do some for your defense. All right, here we go. It's a good bed, man. Good bed.
Yeah, here.
You want to start? You want me to start?
I'll start. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Kasey Kuhrts, your client is accused of being disrespected in the first degree.
Okay.
Defend your client, Evan Michael Ingram, who in the latest PFF rankings of tight ends has him at 14th in the league.
His name is Michael?
Michael Ingram. Behind guys like the Saints, Taysom Hill, and the Bills, Dawson Knox, and the Titans, Okonkwo. Counselor Kuhrts, please defend the young king, Evan Ingram, against this slander and go.
Listen, you can say some things about some other tight ends in the league, but one thing we're not going to do, and you should be fired and not allowed to have a job again over,
there you go,
is putting a freaking quarterback above Evan Ingram in the tight end rankings. Taysom Hill?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Evan Ingram, 700-plus yard receiver, couple of touchdowns, massive play after massive play. Taysom Hill. He caught 9 passes. He caught 9 passes.
Them your boys at PFF.
Them are not my boys. Them is not my boys. Also, Okonkwo, whatever, from the Titans. Unbelievable PFF. Here's an idea. Watch some Jaguars football, huh?
Or football in general.
Or football in general. With your eyes open. Both of them. Get glasses if you need them. Unbelievable. Brian Middleton, I need you to defend your squad. That's the Miami Heat.
Oh, okay.
That they are your squad, correct?
Yeah.
They will have an opportunity to win and advance tonight. But if they don't do that and they don't win the series, you will look back to a Game 4 that was just truly awful by the Miami Heat. Brian Middleton, defend your squad, the Miami Heat, after they ran out of the building in the fourth quarter of Game 4. It just wasn't competitive, wasn't close. Jason Tatum is hot. Defend the boys, please.
Yeah, listen, Boston was bound to get a game like this. And, for one quarter, I think both teams kind of realized what they had on each squad and kind of fell into those kind of roles. But, Kasey, have you ever seen the color purple? Of course not. Oprah's in there.
Why you say of course not?
And her character, she has an epic line, and this is the Miami Heat perfectly. All my life I had to fight. I had to fight my uncles. I had to fight my daddy. I messed that up. But that's the Miami Heat. They fight, and this little Game 4 hiccup ain't going to stop them. I think they're going to win in 6. If they don't win in 6, heaven help them, Kasey Kuhrts. But I'm not worried about them at all. Next up, Kasey.
Yep.
Your client is accused of cooking for real in the second degree.
It better not be Trent Baalke.
Defend your client, Trent Baalke, who has led this Jags organization in having the second highest player turnover rate this decade, 2020 to the present, okay? Kasey, defend Trent as a visionary that you always say he is, since every other team that's in the top 5 of player turnover rate this decade hasn't smelled the playoffs, let alone won a division title. And go.
We need stability around here. We need something that is normal. We need players who want to be in Jacksonville. We need to grow that foundation. Trent Baalke has identified those players, mostly from free agency, not as much in the draft, outside of the draft when they drafted Trevor Lawrence.
Don't do that part.
And they have done a good job building the core of this team, again, mostly through free agency. When you look at Evan Ingram, when you look at Christian Kirk, when you look at Zay Jones. Okay, the time is up.
That was painful, but you did a good job, even though you almost wanted to start knocking them. Kasey, top 5, let me tell you what it is right now in player turnover rate for this decade.
This is only like 3 years.
Yeah, that's 3 seasons. I mean, that's you're halfway to half a decade.
It's been a bad decade for 2 of the years so far.
Chicago, Jacksonville, Houston, Carolina, Atlanta.
It all makes sense. It all makes sense. I mean, the Jags had 2 years where it really wasn't football. I mean, truly.
Oh,
it's
man.
Really bad. It's really, really bad. Do we have time for one more?
We got a minute left in the show.
Brian Middleton, we got time for one more.
All right. Oh, yeah, I should probably do this.
Because this is fascinating to me. A Walmart customer leaving a full cart of groceries behind at Walmart because, well, we've all been this when we've had this moment, folks. You roll up in all the aisles that Walmart paid for to let people check out in. All of those aisles are empty. The lights are not on because the self-checkout is the only thing open. Brian Middleton, defend your client who didn't come to Walmart to work, just buy his groceries and not using the self-checkout.
I'm with him, man. Cut the check, Walmart, Wally World, whatever you want to call yourself. If I got to work there, give me a blue vest when I check out, and I need the amount of time and money that you would have paid me. I need that off of my actual bill in real time. I deal with knuckleheads day in, day out, 5 days a week, from 12 to 7, 11 to 7. And you mean I got to come into Walmart and work some more? Nah, dog. Nah, homie. Can't do it. Won't do it. Shout out to Mike Singletary. Can't do it, Kasey Kuhrts.
I agree with you 100%. We are 1,067 days away from the Riley Patterson pick. Riley Patterson, good luck in Detroit. We will miss you. It's Brandon McManus time in Jacksonville. Right now on ESPN 690, it's time for the Jumbo Shrimp against the Charlotte Knights. For Brian Middleton, I'm Kasey Kuhrts. Have a great night, everybody. I want to eat a spicy chicken in my test.